Good evening everyone and welcome to the John Smith Stadium for tonight's FA Youth Cup third round game between Huddersfield Town and Newcastle United. We're delighted to have you back on our YouTube channel this evening. Obviously we'd love to have some of you here, but still in Tier 3 here in Huddersfield, so not possible. So we're going to try and do the next best thing and bring you full coverage of tonight's third round tie on YouTube. Thanks to everyone for joining us, including those of you of a Newcastle United persuasion. We're sure there's plenty of you here today. It was obviously advertised on Newcastle's official website. You're more than welcome. I am obviously going to be slightly biased towards Huddersfield Town, but we'll do our best to represent you and your players as best we can during the live match coverage. Just a quick rundown of tonight's game for those of you that perhaps haven't really taken an interest in the FA Youth Cup before. We've got the tie has to be decided on the night, so full 90 minutes to play. If we're still level on score after the 90 minutes, there will be an extra 30 minutes of extra time. And then if we're still level after extra time, it will go to penalties. 3 subs from a selected 7 tonight for both sides. If we do go to extra time, there is a 4th sub permitted as well. We're about 9 minutes from kick-off here. If you're wondering why there's no music, that's because if we have it on a live stream, we get a copyright strike from YouTube. So just as the teams come out and we play the introduction music, we will have to just cut the audio. So there's nothing wrong with the stream. If you hear that, we're all working perfectly, but just bear with us and we'll be back on as soon as we can take the music down and we can start with tonight's kick-off. We'll run you through both teams here, just to start with tonight, and we'll start off with the visitors Newcastle. Hopefully you'll see the lists on your screen shortly. Full lineup we'll work through as the players get involved through the evening. There's a couple of players that would draw your attention to, maybe ones to look out for in the Newcastle side this evening. One of which is the number 10, Elliot Anderson, certainly well thought of on up in Newcastle. Actually played here at the John Smith Stadium around a month and a half ago when Newcastle's under-23s came down and played the Huddersfield Town B team. Central midfielder, might play slightly higher tonight, 18 years old, most notably on the bench for Steve Bruce's Newcastle United in the recent Premier League win at Crystal Palace. He didn't get on that night, but that was a first appearance as a substitute in the Premier League for the young midfielder from Whitley Bay. He's been at the club since the age of 8. He is a Scotland under-19 international, which I assume is through his heritage, and he is on a long-term professional contract at Newcastle, so that's the number 10 for United tonight. Similarly, I know there's a lot thought of Joe White, the number 11. As another attacking player, Joe. He's one that certainly the Chronicle has written loads about as well. Attacking midfielder, left-footed, another 18-year-old, England under-18 international as well. Formerly at Carlisle, he's from Carlisle, and he joined Newcastle from the Carlisle United Academy. He's another one on a pro deal at Newcastle United, so plenty to look for there. We'll take you through the Newcastle lineup as we go. I'll give you a quick rundown of the Town starting 11 as well. I'm going to assume that there'll be plenty of names here that perhaps most Town fans don't know and haven't seen before, so we'll take you through that side. So number 1, Nicholas Bilokopic is our goalkeeper this evening. Nick has been at the club since the start of the year. As an Australian, actually an Australian under-18 international, but no work permit required when we signed him because he's got a bit of Croatian heritage as well. Joined Town from Sydney United 58, which those of you with deep knowledge of Huddersfield Town will know is the same club that Jacob Chapman, another one of the goalkeepers at Town, joined us from. And his uncle Paul earned 2 caps for the Socceroos as well, so he's our goalkeeper this evening. Expecting a back 4 from Town, right back Brodie Spencer. Brodie, one of the younger players on show here tonight, although you wouldn't know if you get close and have a good look at him. He's only 16, Brodie. Joined Town in the summer. He's a Northern Ireland under-16 international, joined from Cliftonville in the summer. Joined as a central midfielder, but has found his home at right back in Town's system. Expecting the right centre-back to be Town's skipper this evening, Loic Aina, who's one of 3 Frenchmen in the side. Loic's 17 now, he's in his 2nd year at the club. Actually born in Brazzaville in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but grew up in Paris. Joined Town in the summer of 2019 from having played for a couple of French junior clubs. He's on a pro deal at Town until 2022. He'll be joined at centre-back by the number 4, David Adewaju. David he's turned 17-year-old last month. He's already 6'4", David, so he's an imposing presence at centre-back. Left-footed, loves to kind of drive the ball out of defence, like you'll see Rahmani Edmonds-Green do for the first team. Say he's 6'4" centre-half, but he's also one of the quickest players in the academy on the GPS stats that we get, and as such, probably no surprise that when he was at QPR, he was actually a winger, which I'm assuming is before he got a bit of a growth spurt and grew to 6'4". But yeah, he's from London, David. And the left back tonight is Shane Marodza, who's also he's one of the 16-year-olds, like his fellow fullback Brodie Spencer. Left back can play centre back as well. Relative newcomer to the Town Academy. He only joined in October. Previously at Leicester City between 8 and 16. from Northampton originally, so Shane playing left back tonight. Midfield 3 for Town, much like we see from Carlos Corberan's first team. So the expected deepest lying midfielder will be another relatively new arrival at the Town Academy, Etienne Camara, one of the 3 Frenchmen in Town side tonight. 17 Etienne, joined in October from the French Ligue 1 side Angers. His actual first trial with Town came back in 2018, so he came on trial at Town alongside 2 other players on show tonight, Loic Aina and Brahima Diarra. At that time, decided to join Angers, stay closer to his family, completely understandable, but we've kept a close eye on him and eventually have brought him to the club in October. Etienne only played a handful of games since arriving so far, obviously, but made a real impression here. Left-footed midfielder, real physical presence already as well. So Etienne in midfield. Alongside Etienne, probably the name that most Town fans will be familiar with, Brahima Diarra, obviously 17 years old, made his first team debut at Bournemouth on Saturday as a second-half substitute, a highlight of what was an otherwise a disappointing afternoon for those of us with a Town persuasion. Another one who joined Town in the summer of 2019. From around the Paris region, I'm sure you'll have seen plenty of Brahima, loves to get on the ball, drive forward, real creative influence in that Town side. And the other central midfielder wearing 10 tonight is Miles Bright. Miles, one of the oldest statesmen in the Town side tonight. He is 18 years old. From London, joined Town from grassroots football in London. He actually played for Lambeth Tigers, quite a big junior club in London. Joined in the summer of 2019. He was a right winger when he joined Town. He was very, very small in stature when he did as well, but he's grown quite a lot since then. Now operates centrally in that kind of number 8 role. Loves to try and take players on. Real bright spark. What I would say is when Miles plays, you always enjoy the games a bit more, so hopefully that continues tonight. Front 3 for Town as well, so we're expecting on the right Donny O'Brien Brady, who's still only 16. Again, one of the newest first-year recruits at Town, joined in the summer of 2020, formerly an academy player at Tottenham Hotspur. Centrally, 16-year-old Connor Falls, and again, some of you may know Connor's name because he's been scoring goals. We're just going to fade the sound out here because I'm assuming... Here we go, we'll be back in 1 second. There we go, just got the intro music out of the way so we can bring you back here. Quickly just finishing off the Town lineup. Connor Falls, 16-year-old striker, joined Town in the summer of 2020 from Glentoran in Northern Ireland. Another Northern Ireland 16 international alongside Brodie Spencer. Joined us as a winger, almost asked to be moved centrally actually, Connor, and he's done really well. Scored 4 goals in a 5-0 win at Manchester United already this season, so had a really good start to life at Town. And finally, the left winger wearing 11, Pat Jones. He's a 17-year-old, joined from Wrexham in January 2020. You might know Pat again. He actually played in pre-season for Carlos Corberan's first team. He came off the bench in the 3-3 draw against Manchester United's under-23s here at the John Smith Stadium. Had a little injury recently, Pat, but delighted to see him back today and starting on the left wing. We're just waiting now for both sides to convene. In the middle, the referee is Jamie Waters tonight. He's just having a quick count-up of the players, and it won't be long until we're underway here in the FA Youth Cup third round. Smattering of individuals on the far side tonight. Obviously, Carlos Corberan can't be here. He's down in Birmingham with the first team as we get ready to prepare for tomorrow night's Sky Bet Championship game against Coventry City as we get underway here. But we know that plenty of the Town squad will be watching us on the live stream tonight, so good luck tomorrow, chaps. We'll see you down in Birmingham later on. As Newcastle take kick-off and get early possession, but really aggressive stuff there from Loic Aina. And Brahima Diarra, this fellow Frenchman, momentarily gets on the ball, but Anderson does well. Scrappy start here as both sides just try and settle on the ball. You'll have to, again, forgive me for my, as I get used to which Newcastle player is which here. As Adewaju's got a man on him here. I'm not sure he's totally aware, but he rides the ball well and plays it down the line to Bright, who just tried to turn on it, but good pressure from the Newcastle number 4, Nathan Carlion. Here's Miles Bright now, loves to drive forward. He's tried to play Pat Jones in down the left, and Pat just overdone the pass. He's just run out there ahead of Pat, which is a bit of a shame because it was an opportunity for an early break there. He gets the thumbs up, Miles Bright there from Pat Jones, his winger. Right idea and good interception from Miles. You see Miles there is the more advanced of the three central midfielders. Very similar style to Carlos Corberán's first team. You will recognise it's a man-for-man marking everywhere. In fact, I think it's been given offside in the end. So free kick to Newcastle, and it's put forward. And now there's a problem here as Aina tried to win the ball high, and momentarily Elliot Anderson got clear. Elliot Anderson, the danger man here for Newcastle, drives in field. Gives it to Joe White, another one of the players that's well thought of by Newcastle. White's driven backwards though by Miles Bright. Miles does well there. Good defending there from Etienne Kamara, who gets caught. Really nice front foot defending there from Kamara. Just got in on Carleon and won the ball back. He did feel that tackle. Perfectly fair attempt for the ball, but he was just second to it there, Carleon. And Town have a free kick. And chance to get the foot on the ball here as the centre-halves exchange passes. Here's Adewoju, who's getting pressed now by a player who plays a lovely little inside ball to Kamara. Gives it to Marodza, the left-back, Shane Marodza. Town, you'll recognise this again from the first team. Newcastle pressing quite high here, quite aggressively as Aina plays the ball out to Brodie Spencer. Here's Brodie's first touch of the ball, I believe, today. He just drives in field and gives a sensible pass to Adewoju, the left-footed centre-back, who gets to drive forward now. He's looking for some of that movement as Marodza moves down the line. Good ball into Miles Bright there from Adewoju. Miles jinks and goes past one, but does well there, Bright, to win the throw-in off the right-back, Joe Oliver. Nice early start from Miles. He's not short of confidence, Miles, that's for sure. Loves to get on the ball and try and dictate things. You'll see him all over the pitch. He really pops up everywhere. That's a first touch for Nicholas Bilokovic here, the Town keeper, who fires a good ball out in front of Loic Aina. Aina drives forward. He's got Diarra for company, but he's good pressing from Anderson there, who's won the ball back, but equally good play from Miles Bright, really. Oh, it's Donny O'Brien Brady, in fact. Really bright stuff from the winger on that far side. Plenty of people in attendance here tonight that's allowed under regulations, plenty of Town officials. Lee Bromby, the head of football operations. Danny Schofield and Paul Clements, who obviously involved with the first team day today, have stayed behind just to show their presence and have a look at Town youngsters. Here's Bright, does well again and runs forward. He plays a good ball into Marodza's feet. Marodza's got two for company now, Shane. He needs some help. He's going to try and work the space for a cross. He does well in the end, actually, because Newcastle got three around him and he wins the throw-in. More early encouraging play from Miles Bright and the Young Terriers, though. Marodza just looking for the move. He's got Kamara, and here's Diarra, the first team debutant for the weekend. Just loses out there to his opposite number at Newcastle, and it's Lucas De Ball who brings the ball away. And Town pressing high here as the left back tries to get good play from Brodie Spencer. He's unlucky to see the ball run out there. He did well to pop in front of Anderson and win the ball. That will be a good battle today because there's two good players over on that far side. Brodie, really good qualities to fit with what we need from a right back. Good play from O'Brien Brady, who's won the ball off the left back here. O'Brien Brady's got Spencer on his outside, but he sensibly goes inside to Etienne Kamara, the big French central midfielder. Here's Miles Bright again now. Newcastle really stacked behind the ball here, and Bright just tried to pop the ball into O'Brien Brady, but couldn't find the pass. Good play there from Donny again, though. Really good reactions. In fact, it's Brahima Diarra, apologies. They've got the same boots on that far side. Good stuff from Diarra, though, to win the ball back after initially losing it. Here's Adewoju. Adewoju, great pass into Pat Jones. Pat's got pace to burn now. He's got number 7, Dylan Stevenson, for company. Stevenson does well and nicks the ball off Pat for a throw into Town down this left-hand side. A few players missing for Town here tonight, unfortunately. One of them is Luke Daly, who the 18-year-old who normally teams up with Jones down this left-hand side. Luke just nursing a little knee problem that's just, it was touch and go for tonight, but in the end not quite ready, so no risks taken, obviously, with the players. There are a few other players missing as well, as Spencer pops the ball back to O'Brien Brady, who turns really nicely there, Donny, and he's unfortunately just lost the ball there to Anderson, who plays it in good defending there from Loic Aina, but the follow-up tackle from Spencer just brings the striker down, the number 9, Josh Harrison, for Newcastle. Harrison, a 17-year-old forward. It's right idea from Etienne Kamara, but he just brings his man down again there, a little over-eager. Newcastle also look to be playing a front three here with Anderson and White flanking Harrison, the main central striker. Town 4-3-3 as we expected. Marodza now just wrestled off it, but Adewoju covers well. David Adewoju again. High press from Newcastle here as Ayena's pressed by Harrison, but he steps away from him, Loic, and moves into midfield. Here's Brahima Diarra. Under pressure, Brahima. He plays a nice ball out to Marodza. Marodza's got Miles Bright for a good runner there, but in fact, they're going to win the ball there. It was just not quite right, but Jones now trying to run his man. He's tried to get to the dead ball line. I think he's just overrun the ball. Bit of a shame there because it was a good effort from, or a good break there. Marodza's nice ball into that channel run from Bright. Really good start from Miles Bright. See what I mean about him? I didn't build him up too much in the pre-match talk. He's a real bundle of energy, Miles, in central midfield. Now, Ayena's under pressure. He's just getting dragged back there, it looked like, but he's got the ball back to Bilokovic, and Nick plays it left to Adewoju. Plenty of the ball here, early stages for the Terriers, as the centre-halves exchange passes. Newcastle just settling back into the shape here now as Town in possession. That ball from Ayena just slightly off target, but Adewoju and Bright managed to sort things out and go back to Kamara, who sensibly stepped in to cover for Adewoju, and it's a good movement and ball into Bright in the central midfield area. Here's O'Brien Brady. Goes back to Bilokovic. Nick into Etienne Kamara. Looking for a move here, Etienne. Instead, he doesn't have a pass, so he just moves past Joe White. Etienne's played a good ball into Miles, who pops that ball off to Brodie Spencer. Brodie's going to look for the runner, Miles Bright. He's had to stop there, Miles, who didn't run offside. Brodie just a little delayed in playing the pass, so it runs through to the United keeper, Oliver Marshall, wearing the number 1 tonight. Very vivid, bright pink kit. Diarra just putting the centre-back under pressure. It's good play there, good pressure from the Young Terriers again to win that ball back as the centre-half tried to step out. Diarra right onto him there, not allowing that free movement into the midfield area. Ayena's tried to pick out Jones here. His Pat's just gone over him. It was a decent idea from Loic. Pat just not quite tall enough to stop that one going out. So it's a throw into Newcastle on the right-hand side. 8 minutes gone here. It is Huddersfield Town 0, Newcastle United 0. If you're just joining us in the FA Youth Cup, welcome tonight. Adewoju wins the header, but it goes backwards. Ayena needs to deal with it here, and he's just dallied on it slightly, but Kamara just bails him out there, and Ayena sensibly just pushes the ball right to Bilokovic. Bilokovic just tried to find Brodie Spencer, but just overplayed it, so ball goes straight to the Newcastle bench on that far side. Good attacking, a front foot defending there from Spencer to win that header, and now the number 8, the ball just played that a bit short. Pat Jones there with a surprise press into the number 5, and that's on now because there's Shane Marodza. He's just played the ball. Unfortunately, Jones had pressed the keeper, just in an offside position, but again, right idea from the Young Terriers, really front foot stuff. High press as we come to expect from any Huddersfield Town side. As it is, free kick to Newcastle. Oliver Marshall to take it, the number 1. 17-year-old goalkeeper drills the ball. I don't think that was intended for Anderson, but it might end up there, and Anderson with good body strength there just to block O'Brien Brady. He does well enough there, Donny, just to make sure the ball goes out. And here's Harrison. Harrison stopped in his tracks by a stiff Etienne Kamara challenge. He felt that one, Harrison, but it was a fair challenge. Brahima's tried to find Pat Jones, but good positioning from the fullback just to cut that out. Diarra straight onto the number 8, but the ball does well. Pops the ball back. Lucas de Bol, one of the many players from Newcastle over the years to start his career at Wallsend Boys Club. Remember Lee Clark, our former manager, former Newcastle player, among his peers. Ball played forward. Adewoju needs to be aware of the man behind him, and he is. And Marodza tries to pop the ball into Jones, just slightly over Pat's head. Good pressure from the right back, Joe Oliver. Wallsend Boys Club, such a hotbed of producing young footballers up in the northeast, of course. There's Kamara just dismisses Joe White off the ball and plays the ball to the right for Donny O'Brien Brady here. He's got Miles Bright inside for company, and he finds Bright. Bright's got a man on, Joe White hunting that ball down, but Kamara and Bright just work the space, and really nice pass out to the left for Adewoju. Town just need to get the balance right behind the ball here, and indeed Kamara's just popped into the space left by Adewoju. Nice little feet there from Miles Bright to free up space to find Loic Ayena. Ayena tries to push a ball into Spencer. He does really well, actually, Brodie, to bring that under control. And O'Brien Brady now back with Ayena. He's got space to drive into again. He's tried to play that ball again, left to Marodza, but just overhitting it, not quite got his radar in yet, Loic. That will come, I'm sure. Like I said, like Rahmani Edmonds-Green for the first team, is a player who loves to step onto the ball, step into that midfield area and spray passes around. Really aggressive front foot defender as well, Loic. Adewoju does well with the header. Harrison just trying to back into him, asking the referee of a question, but fair enough challenge from both parties, I think, there. So it's a throw into Newcastle. Here's Oliver. He's got the run of Anderson in field, and Anderson, if it wasn't a foul, it was a handball from Brodie. So either way, it's a free kick to Newcastle for a foul on the skipper. Newcastle now just using the opportunity to eke up the pitch. Joe White on the ball now, the talented Carlisle-born attacking midfielder. Just looking for a short option, I think. He's not in love with the options he has. He's tried to play that ball into the channel. It was a good run from Anderson, to be fair, and he does well to keep it in, Anderson. He plays it to Oliver, and I think that's going to be a... Oh, now. Town thought that was a goal kick, that Marodza played it off the Newcastle man, but no such luck. So it's a first corner of the game, I believe, to Newcastle United. It's going to be Joe White to take it here in the 12th minute from this near side. Every Town player in the box or in the D, apart from Pat Jones, a winger, who's keeping two players occupied in the centre circle. Short corner here now played, and it's Joe White again. Plays a low ball, but Connor Falls is alive to it and clears the ball, sweeps it forward. And that's a good bit of anticipation from Pat Jones, who's got men for company. The number 4 actually does really well. I thought that was a foul, but Newcastle still have it. Etienne Kamara hunting the ball down now with Joe White. Joe White does really well, rides the challenge as well. Brodie Spencer's cut inside there, and it's an early shot for Newcastle, but easy pickings for Bilokovic, who does well, the Australian. Immediately bowls the ball out to the left-hand side for Miles Bright as Town look to launch a counter. Number 4, Nathan Carleon, did really well there in the build-up to the Newcastle challenge, rode a couple of challenges well. Kamara tries to find Diarra, but just overplays the ball. Lovely touch from Elliot Anderson there. Newcastle just under pressure here as Connor Falls looks to put the Newcastle backline under pressure. It's played forward by Marshall towards White, but it's a slightly loose touch, and he's played it off Adewoju actually. It's good play. It is the number 7 actually, Dylan Stevenson, who just switched wings momentarily there, or switched positions with White. Well done, Miles Bright. Good physicality there to win the ball back. Gives it to Marodza. Marodza's got Adewoju for company. Here is David. He goes back to Bilokovic, who goes to Aina. Aina plays the ball out nicely to Brodie Spencer. Brodie tries to check in field. Anderson almost won that ball, but Spencer, a really physical presence. Brodie won't lose many 50-50s, and he comes out with the ball. Adewoju thought about switching play there to O'Brien Brady. Instead, he's tried to clip the ball into the path of Jones, but it's just too straight, unfortunately. Debola on the ball for Newcastle. Debola exchanges passes with Harry Barkley, the centre-back, and Barkley just with a bit of space. Really nice play there from Brodie Spencer. The referee not conned there by that little fall from Anderson, who was suggesting that he got fouled by Spencer. There didn't look to be loads in it as Kamara clips the ball forward towards O'Brien Brady. It's just won in the air by the left-back, Josh Scott. Throw into Town about midway into the Newcastle half. Scott, 18-year-old left-back, can also play left wing from Consett, the number 3. Now Newcastle win the ball back there, and it's Diarra wins it back, just comes off his face. Good play from Stevenson, Dylan Stevenson, to pick up that loose ball, and now Joe White gives it to his teammate, but Connor Falls alive to it, and now Town. Here's O'Brien Brady, tries to find Falls, but Diarra almost won the challenge there, and Newcastle do well just to, well, the keeper's absolutely drilled it at a teammate about 25 yards out, so Town have it back. Kamara pushes the ball left to Marodza. Marodza steps inside. He's got options, Shane, and he takes the safe one, goes back to Adewoju. Town's looking to put the foot on the ball here again now. John Worthington's side, of course. John, former Town captain, in charge of this team. 2 former scholars assisting him tonight, George Danaher and Oren Thompson. Both been through the system with Town. Didn't make it as professionals, but great learners and a really good addition to the Town coaching staff. Here's Marodza now, gets to the edge of the box, Shane. Gives it left to Jones. Jones has got the right back for company. He cuts into his favoured right. Gives it back to Miles Bright. Plenty of Newcastle players behind the ball here, though. And it's a good tackle from a Newcastle defender. Aina does well there. And Adewoju needs to just be careful here. And the striker's gone down, saying he's caught one in the face. There may have been a Slightly flailing arm there, and the referee's not interested at all as the Newcastle player gets back to his feet, the number 9. It's a shame there because he could have got to that, Harrison. He had Adewoju under a bit of pressure. Went down a little theatrically. He's back up now. Thankfully, he's okay to continue as centre-halves have just swapped here momentarily for Town. So this is Loic Aina, the skipper, on the left-hand side. Just looking for an option on the ball, and he gives it to Brahima Diarra, but it's a poor touch from Diarra, and now it's a chance for Newcastle to break as the dangerous Anderson gets on it. Great play from Miles Bright to get back at his numerical namesake there. Good stuff from Miles, recognising the danger. And here is Miles on the ball. He turns beautifully, and Diarra flicks the ball back into his path. Miles has now got the ball out to the left, and good play here from Town as Marodza gets a little free. Marodza with an early cross. He's overhit that one. Idea was okay. Connor Falls very good in the air for a 16-year-old, but Shane just got the delivery a bit wrong there, so needs a bit more whip on it. Ended up lofting it behind for a goal kick to Newcastle. Really nice interchange of play there between Diarra and Bright. I think Miles has probably had the most impressive start of any player on the pitch so far. Town with the setup here, high press off the goal kick, and Pat Jones goes to the centre-half Barkley, and the keeper Marshall gets it back, very calm under pressure. Gives it to Barkley. Joe White on the ball here. Oh, he almost drops it to Connor Falls, but calm stuff there from United as they play their way out of defence quite nicely. Brodie Spencer is clearly shoved off the ball there by Anderson. Brodie, really nice front foot stuff, and gets a big round of applause from John Worthington right in front of the Town bench. That's going to be a good battle all afternoon because Anderson, a very good player, but Brodie Spencer no slouch either, and you can see Brodie's intentions tonight. He's super aggressive into the challenge. So it's a free kick to Town just inside the Newcastle half. Diarra just looking short for this here now. Brodie looked like he was going to switch play, but he's given it to Diarra. Diarra's immediately got 3 Newcastle players for company, so just pops it back to his French teammate Aina, and they live together actually, Brahima and Loic, in Huddersfield, so well familiar with each other, those two. Ooh, now then, Brahima skipped past the challenge there. Beautiful play from Brahima Diarra, and the pitch is open now. He's got movement in front of him. He's tried to play the ball out to Jones, and it's probably going to get there, actually. He's got Miles Bright for company, but uses the run as a decoy, and Pat goes in field. It's a shot from Pat Jones. It's not a bad effort there from the young Welsh under-17 international. Could have given the ball to Bright on the outside, but used that run to draw the defender away. He is a naturally right-footed player, Pat, but speculative effort in the end, and it's always going slightly high and slightly wide of the of Marshall's goal. Marshall's looked to drill that ball. Tell you what, Stevenson's done really well for his team there because it looked for all the tea in China like that ball was going out, and Anderson just wins a free kick, jinks past Spencer. Referee just going to have a word with Brodie Spencer there because it was a little bit cynical. Dylan Stevenson, the winger, did really well to keep that goal kick in actually, or that ball from the keeper in. Newcastle have the ball back in play here. Adewoju putting his man under pressure, and Falls gets in. He thinks he should have a throw in, but it's a throw into Newcastle. Just over halfway. Kamara, well, don't know what's happened there. He's saying he won the ball, but Adewoju cleans up. Now then, here's Loic Aina. He's got Harrison for company, just needs to be aware. Brodie Spencer drives in field nicely. He's got Adewoju as a safe pass, and Brodie does do well there, the Northern Irishman. He gives it to Adewoju on this left. Adewoju, Miles Bright calling for the ball, but Newcastle getting into the shape well. Adewoju to Kamara now. Kamara's got a player for company, so he just pops it back to Adewoju, and David goes all the way back to Bill Ockapitch. So just going to be patient here, the Young Terriers, as they move Newcastle left to right. Newcastle quite clearly happy in the defensive shape when they don't have possession. Town happy in possession whenever they can be. Here's Brahima Diarra, who just clips a ball towards Marodza. Marodza does well there, heads it in field to Miles Bright, who's got time and space to operate in. Miles drives forward into the space. He's got Diarra for company. Here is Brahima. Miles look for the return pass, but Brahima sensibly goes out to Pat Jones again, who's seen plenty of the ball early on here. He's got Kamara for company in the middle. Brahima just got space to drive into here, the left footer. Absolutely fizzes a ball out to Donny O'Brien Brady. It's too much on it in the end. Shame there, because Town, plenty of players forward. Brodie Spencer got Joe White for company now rather than Anderson, and he's shadowing the Newcastle man backwards, and he's done well, White, but he's running to company, and there's 3 players there, and Town are going to win this back here, and here's Brahima Diarra tries to trick his way past a player, but Anderson, the Newcastle skipper, plays a lovely ball into the channel. Now, Adewaju, you will do well to run. He might not look like he should shift, but for somebody who's 6'4", he can move. Bilokopich has got Aina to his right to play the ball out. So Town back in possession. Decent idea from Anderson into the channel. Pat Jones asking for the ball there as Diarra's run takes the full back inside, and it's a good ball. Here's Pat Jones. He's got Marodza on the outside, but Pat's going to have a go. Good defending there from the Newcastle man, but Jones equally does well to win it back. Really nice stuff from Pat Jones. Good reaction there. Good play all around there. Good defending, and then a good counter press from Town. Town plenty of possession here in the first 22 minutes. It's still 0-0. Pat Jones's effort off target, the best Town have been able to muster so far. Here's Connor Falls, the striker. Diarra sensibly goes back to Adewaju. He's got Kamara in field if he fancies it. Diarra on this wing. Here is Brahima Diarra. Just need to be careful here, and he rides the challenge of Stevenson really nicely. Plays the ball into Connor Falls, a striker who's just stopped deep. Gives it to Marodza. Marodza tried to just push the ball down the line to Jones, but just gets his angles wrong there. Throw into the Magpies. Miles Bright just a yard off his man there, and Newcastle allowed to just get hold of the ball through Carlion. Miles Bright fancied a handball, but nothing given. Here's Anderson, flicks the ball sensibly towards the striker. Nice play there. There's Kamara was going to try and step in and win it, but Brodie Spencer instead pops in and just plays the ball back to Bilokopich. It's an absolutely hammered ball towards Pat Jones. He probably didn't have as much air on it as Nick would have liked. Ball down the line to, I think it's Harrison. Just waiting for him to turn. No, it isn't. Oh, it is Harrison. Yeah, sorry. Stevenson now into Carlion, who tries to find the danger man, Elliot Anderson here. He's got Kamara for company. Etienne just tried to pop in and win the ball, but Anderson, almost anticipating that challenge, goes down, and it's a free kick to United, far on the Town right. Etienne just a bit over-eager to win the ball back there. Anderson, you could see, was almost looking for that challenge. Clever play from the midfielder. It's going to be a free kick here to United. Currently got 4 in the box. Lucas De Ball, the midfielder, just on the edge of the D. There's another player there. It might be Harrison, the striker, in the box. Just trying to make a near post run there. He's made Kamara drop quite deep, but in the end the ball just rolls past everyone and goes dead for a goal kick. So danger averted there. Just a reminder, thanks for joining us tonight on YouTube. Town's first team game against Coventry City will be on iFollow HCFC again as usual. Match passes available for £10. Or not tomorrow actually, as it's on Sky. So if you don't have iFollow HCFC season card holder, you will have access to it as usual. If not, it's actually on Sky Sports Premier League currently, which is not what we were anticipating, but it's good news all around now. Donny O'Brien-Brady with a surprise press, but number 6 does well, and then goes down a bit oddly, Lewis Branham, but he did well. Really nice play there from Harrison, the number 9. Aina doing well to get back at him. Here's Spencer. Anderson just tried to roll in field. He's done really well there, Elliot Anderson. Brodie Spencer, tenacious in his defending. The referee's given a free kick. I'm not totally sure what for. It looks like he's going to book Brodie Spencer here, which seems a little harsh, but he did have a chat with Brodie earlier. Not totally sure what Brodie's done there. It might have been a pull. Brahima Diarra expressing his disappointment there, but Brodie Spencer, the first name to be booked tonight, 25 minutes in for a foul on Anderson. Not ideal when Anderson's clearly such a danger for United, but mentioned there for Josh Harrison, the striker. He turned past Aina beautifully on halfway to start this move, and it's Anderson, the danger man, who's over this free kick here, along with Joe White. About 23, 24 yards out here, I think, from our position. Slightly to the right of Bilokopich's goal, so dangerous moment here for the Young Terriers. Got 4 or 5 in the wall, I can't quite see. Might be 5. Here we go, Anderson with the free kick. Anderson hits it, Bilokopich, good hands. Straight at Nick in the end, which is good news, but he had plenty of players closing him down there, and he did well to gather the ball in and bowl that ball out to Diarra, who now comes over halfway. There's Pat Jones looking for a ball in behind there, quite audibly, but Diarra takes no chances. Just tries to settle things down after a small period of Newcastle pressure, and Town happy just to take the ball in the defensive third here. Diarra Moves past Stevenson again. Brahima just pops it into Pat Jones, who's got... Well, he had Aina for company. He went out to the far side, and it's a good win from Scott, the left back again, showing his aptitude in the air tonight as Miles Bright and Spencer combine. And Spencer now drives through midfield. I don't know whether that's a corner to Town or a goal kick. I don't think... Yeah, he's given a goal kick. Referee and fourth and the assistant there looked at each other, not quite sure, and I think, to be fair, it did look like it was Spencer that got the final touch on the ball. So Oliver Marshall collects, and the team's set up again. Tight affair this so far, not much between the two teams, you have to say, as Marshall loops a ball into midfield, and really nice play from Spencer, who's just put O'Brien Brady under pressure there. That's got to be a free kick. Did well there, Donny, because he was under pressure from Spencer's free kick, and he had to get his body between the man and the ball. Did well, Donny, former Spurs academy player. Oh, now then. Adewaju really calm under pressure there from Stevenson, and he pokes the ball to Marodza. Shane Marodza now is going to give it to Pat Jones. Jones got Marodza for company. Marodza just trying to take one of the two players away. Pat just gets his body in the way there, Pat Jones, and it's good defending there from the two Newcastle men, to be fair. And it's a good ball down the line, and that's a good turn in field as well. Just wrong-footed Adewaju momentarily there, Harrison. He's a nimble figure on the ball, you have to say, Josh Harrison. He's making a good run down the side there. It's a good job it didn't get played, because he just got free of Adewaju for a second. Instead, Newcastle spread the ball out to the left for Lewis Brannan, the centre-back, who plays it into Joe White. White's got Spencer for company again, drilled into the chest of O'Brien Brady, and Brody just puts his body in the way of White and doesn't let it pass. And now it's a pass back, almost anticipated by Elliot Anderson, but a good ball out from Bilokovic there to find Etienne Kamara. And now Loic Aina can drive the ball forward. Just got to be careful here, Loic, because men behind it, if he can't lose it here. And it's a good ball out to Marodza on this left side. Shane gives it into Adewaju. He's got man for company, Harrison. Just need to get it out of this side here, and that's... Ooh, well done. Good reaction there from Marodza, and Brahima Diarra trying to win the ball off the number 4, but he does well to get his body in the way and give it to DeBall, sorry. I did check the pronunciation pre-match. That ball into Elliot Anderson. It might just run dead, and it has. Or out for a throw into Town. He's shepherded across the pitch by Loic Aina. Town just need to get the foot on the ball again here in the midfield area. It's a few slack passes so far, and that's a slack throw-in, actually, and it gives Newcastle a chance to push the ball into Dylan Stevenson. Marodza comes in field. Pat Jones does really well to trap the right back there. He's going to try and roll him here, and Pat is quick if he can get away. Good play from the midfielder. He won the ball originally, but then did clatter Jones on the follow-through there, the number 4, Nathan Carleon. It looks like referee taking absolutely no prisoners tonight. He's going to produce a first yellow card of the evening for the Newcastle midfielder. He is a little unlucky. Like I say, originally won the ball, but follow-through with his trailing foot did just clatter Jones, so it's a booking for the number 4, Nathan Carleon. Holding midfielder, he is 18, one of the older players in the Newcastle lineup. Actually played twice in the Papa John's Trophy for Newcastle this season already. O'Brien Brady into Kamara, who's got a little time and space here and plays a nice ball out to Marodza. Marodza's got Jones for company. Marodza just comes back and turns on the ball, and he's, I think, looking for Miles Bright here. And Miles, nice play from Miles, good feet as you'd expect, and he brings the ball away. Loves to exchange quick passes with Diarra, but on this occasion just moves the ball centrally to Etienne Kamara. Kamara's got Diarra for company. Here's Brahima now. Good ball in field from Brahima, and now it's Pat Jones. He's got the chance to cross first time, but he drives inside on his right, and that's in! It's the opening goal for the Young Terriers, and like they say, if you take a shot, you have every chance of it going in. It's definitely taken a deflection off the defender there, but Pat Jones bought a ticket, and he's won the raffle. 1-0 Town. Lovely play there, Brahima Diarra, with that inside pass to take the full-back out of the equation momentarily, or the winger out of the equation. Ball ended up with Jones. He drove inside onto his preferred right foot, hit the shot. It might have been on target anyway, but certainly hit, I believe, the centre-back, the right-sided centre-back. I think it will have been Harry Barkley. Completely wrong-footed Marshall and sent the ball flying past his right-hand side. 1-0 to Town. Great stuff right on the half-hour mark here from the Young Terriers. Just what the doctor ordered. We'll see whether that draws Newcastle out a little bit more now, whether they're happy to hold the shape and try and break on Town. Great finish from Jones. That's where he's capable of, the young Welshman. Straight to Anderson again here, and Brodie Spencer does really well, gets his head in and knocks the ball dead. Such a good battle. That's such a shame that Brodie's on a booking, actually. It's a poor touch from Miles Bright there, actually, just to give the ball back. Miles does really well, though, and he's fouled there. Really good reactions again from Miles Bright. That was the thing that stood out when Miles came on trial with Town back in early 2019. It wasn't so much his work on the ball, it's what he was like off it. He's always had that natural inclination to try and win the ball back if he ever makes a mistake. And for a right winger at the time, that's quite unusual, you find, in young footballers. But he's a real desire not to be beaten one-on-one, Miles. And a lovely touch from Pat Jones. What a ball into Marodzer's feet there. Now the overlapping left-back's got options at the back post. Well tracked in the end by Dylan Stevenson, the winger, but it's a corner to Town. Lovely little flick from Jones there, who got all the confidence now after scoring the opener tonight. Marodzer moves really well. Like I say, a relative newcomer to Town's academy, only joined in October. Former Leicester City academy player. Has played centre-back a bit as a left side of a 3 as well for Town since joining, but did join as a left-back, and I think it was the way he moved down the flank that really attracted Town's academy staff to him when he first came. It's Jones on the corner here now. Let's see what we can deliver. In fact, it's Falls, and he's trying to aim for, and Connor's done really well, actually. Wins the ball back. Unfortunately, he's just going to go out for a throw, and you could see what they're trying to do there, just trying to free up that space around the penalty spot for Falls to run into and strike, but Jones just got the delivery a bit wrong on that occasion. Nice idea, though. Such a big occasion for the young footballers, the FA Youth Cup. Important not to get carried away, 2 down when things don't go well or go well. That's really nice feet from Joe White now. And now there's a situation here because Newcastle have got a man on the overload here, and Harrison's tried to... Well done, Brodie Spencer. He's done really well to read that danger, and Diarra with a good flick on, really good in the air, Brahima Diarra, because he's not the biggest. He's getting bigger every day. But now then, Pat Jones, such pace. But you have to say the centre-back's done really well there. About 500 deflections on that ball, but Newcastle still have it. And good play there from Diarra. I think Diarra thinks he's just got a little bit of a late tackle. So number 11, Joe White, didn't seem to agree, but might not have been intentional. That doesn't mean it didn't hurt. Loic straight on his feet here. I'm not quite sure what the referee's given, if it's a free kick to Town or just a stoppage in play because Loic was down, but the ball is heading back towards Loic Aina. Really good front foot defending nonetheless. It is going to be a drop ball to Town. It's Etienne Kamara. Just casually rides the tackle from White here. Look at Brodie Spencer. Elliot Anderson suddenly realised he was in a foot race, and again there is Spencer just yo-yoing backwards and forwards. Going to have to do his defensive duty, Elliot Anderson, for Newcastle, because Brodie will get forward. Kamara just drops into that deep 6 position as good defending there from Carl Yon again, the holding midfielder for Newcastle, just to stop Diarra advancing. Brodie Spencer just drags the ball back again, and he's just dragged back by Joe White, and now he's dragged down there. And the referee's apparently playing prison rules all of a sudden because nothing's happening, and Miles Bright's needed to come and clear the ball. It was clear as day that he got dragged down there, Brodie, but no free kick given, so slightly odd few moments. Good reactions again from Miles Bright to see that danger unfolding and just come back and clear the ball as the ball goes into Anderson, as it understandably does on every occasion for Newcastle. And Donny O'Brien-Brady just needs to be careful. Oh, it's a bad ball from Brodie Spencer, but Etienne Kamara just needs to be careful here. Oh, God, had me nervous then, but fair play, Bilokovic. Calmer than I am up here in the commentary position. And he gives the ball out. Good feet from Marodzer there, because it looked like that ball was going dead. Great ball from Shane Marodzer into Miles Bright, who just can't quite bring the ball under his spell for a second. But Miles onto his preferred right, just switches back. Such a tricky customer, Miles Bright, and he finds space past the Debola for a second there. But Debola sticks to his guns. Here's the goal scorer, Jones. Slides the ball into Etienne Kamara. Kamara out to the right-hand side for O'Brien-Brady, the left-footed winger. Comes naturally inside Donny. Into Kamara again. Kamara clips the ball towards Miles Bright, who finds Dylan Stevenson quite a large target to get past. Did well there, Stevenson. Really diligent in his defensive work, the winger. Marodzer will take this throw in, you think? Miles Bright just happy to slow things down a bit here with 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Town 1-0 ahead thanks to that deflected Pat Jones strike, if you're just joining us. Brahima Diarra asks for the ball, gets his body in the way, turns on it, but tries to then buy a free kick, and the referee's having none of it. And that ball's going to come down the line. Adewaju has read that like, oh no, he's got that ball wrong, and now Town need to react here. Aina needs to try and bail his teammate out, and Loic, the young Frenchman, does superbly well there, because Adewaju got that pass wrong, just undersold it, and Aina didn't dive in, just stood up, deflected the shot, and allowed Bilokovic to claim the rebound. Really good stuff from Loic. Loic a little lucky, actually. He actually got sent off in a pretty thumping EFL Youth Alliance Cup win against Fleetwood. Thankfully, another game against Doncaster Rovers at the weekend to serve that suspension and be available tonight. Miles Bright. Oh, now then, he's gone into Marodza there, who's the left-back's found himself in the central striker position. Looked for all the world like Miles Bright, who's going to get that on the left-hand side, but fooled everyone here. Marodza just needs to get back into position here, because the ball's going to come down the line, as it has. Shane Marodza. Really good stuff there from Harrison again, who's from Anderson, who's come all the way across the pitch, and Brodie Spencer just has to stop that run now. Here's Joe White, one of the Newcastle danger men. He drives the ball just over the bar there. In fact, it's taken a deflection. I think it was a deflection off an outfielder rather than a save from Bilokovic, but either way, it's a corner to Newcastle. Town just lost the shape there momentarily. Just getting pulled around the pitch a little bit, and it's Joe White with a lovely effort that just fizzed over the Town bar. White going over to that far side now to take this corner. Really impressive start from Joe White tonight. You can see why he's an England Youth International. Town number 4 now. Just Brahima Diarra's just picked that in the box around the penalty spot there. It just looked like Carl Yon was going to get free there. They worked that short there, Newcastle. Now they've done, don't like little feet in there where it's around the edge of the box. And now here's Kamara. He's tried to find Donny O'Brien-Brady. He's got the number 8 for company, and he's tried to jink past it. 8, to be fair. He's done really well there, De Bol. Big figure, Lucas De Bol, to be fair. He's an imposing figure at under 18 level. Just shepherded O'Brien-Brady off the ball there, the 16-year-old. Here is De Bol. He just turns out. Connor Falls does really well, the young striker, but still going to be a throw into Newcastle on that far side. Digital perimeter boards not in use tonight for this Youth Cup game. Unusual to see them all black. Lovely play from Spencer again, who does really well. Now, look at that from Diarra. Lovely flick back to Miles Bright. Now Miles Bright's going to look to shoot. He's hit Connor Falls. His teammate Falls now has the ball. Connor Falls shoots. Just clips wide there. It was a little bit at full stretch in the end. Didn't have much substance behind it. Miles Bright a bit unlucky there to see his strike hit Falls on the back initially, but Town kept it alive. More decent attacking play from the young Terriers. Just need to keep the door shut at the other end here now with about 7 minutes of the half remaining. Kamara tracking Anderson all the way in there. Here's Joe White again, who's just dropped deep to get on the ball. Gives it back to the centre-back. Here's Barkley, the other centre-back. Goes back to Marshall. Ooh. Yeah, Miles Bright right up the player there. To be fair, they've worked this really well of Newcastle, and Adewaju a bit unlucky there. Bilokovic not happy there. You could hear the Town keeper not thinking that was a foul, but Adewaju deemed to have brought down Stevenson. He was bolt tight to the winger when he received the pass. Newcastle showing no fear there and trying to play out under a pretty intense press from the young Terriers, but it's good to see. Now Barkley plays it into Carl Yon, who's had a good half, to be fair, for Newcastle. Connor Falls just tries to close down Marshall. Now Miles Bright shuffles across. Good ball into Elliot Anderson. Spencer just has to be careful there because he's been booked already, Brodie. He can't do anything about that, and now he does well there. Anderson sends it out to, I think it's Josh Harrison on the wing. Loic Aina gets his body in there really well, Loic, and now just needs to be careful, Loic, because he's not got a lot of options, and Pat Jones booms a ball forward towards Miles Bright. Good head there from... Oh, now that's a good touch. Newcastle putting some good stuff together here, and that might just run dead, and they're going to be unlucky if it does. Yep, linesman's given it. It's good play from Newcastle, though, to be fair. Slightly unlucky there. The pass just ran out ahead of Joe Oliver, the overlapping right-back. It's a really competitive game here. Newcastle, of course, a Category 1 academy under the EPPP. A lot of investment, a lot of facilities in any club that is a Cat 1 academy. Good throw from Marodza into Jones. Pat Jones has absolutely wellied that forward. I think he was trying to hit a cross-field volley towards O'Brien-Brady, but he's only succeeded in slapping the ball straight to the goalkeeper, Marshall. Connor Falls sticking to his job there, tracking the centre-back in. Oh, that's good play again from Anderson. He's got real tricky feet. Such a good player, Elliot Anderson. He's gone past one. He's got to be... Wow, this... seriously impressive. And now this is a big chance for Newcastle. Good block there from Etienne Kamara. Really good. Town will be disappointed that Anderson managed to weave his way through so many players there, but I think you saw the talent that the young Scottish under-19 international has. You can see why he's so fancied by United, that run alone. Spencer's got to be really careful now on a booking. He can't risk a second yellow. So it's a corner to Newcastle. It's over Belokovic, who makes a good decision there because it was just dropping over him and he's had to just fist the ball behind for a corner on the opposite side. Good play there from the Australian keeper. Good judgment there. As a result, it's Anderson, the Newcastle skipper, making his way over to take this second corner. About 3.5 minutes left of regular time here. I can't think there's really been a stoppage, barring Aina's momentary set of attention. Now that ball's going to go dead. It's a good leave there from the Town defence. It was Marodza, the left back at the far post, who judged that pretty well. So Belokovic can go and retrieve the ball for a goal kick. Really dangerous moment there. I think it was Dylan Stevenson who had the shot. Apologies if I'm getting that wrong, but good sprawling block there from Etienne Kamara, the Town holding midfielder, to deflect the ball over the bar. Belokovic just sends his teammates forward here with about 2.5 minutes left of this half. He's taking no chances, so Town just making their way up the pitch. He can hit the ball a mile, can Nick. Unfortunately, he's sent that one slightly off target. He's gone out just over halfway, but he can really hit a ball, Nick, if he needs to. So Newcastle finishing the half well here, you would say. Town always a danger when coming the other way. They've got a couple of really good players, Newcastle. You really like the look of White, and it's good feet again. And Kamara does really well, sticks to it there and slides the ball out. Etienne, really good. Surprising mobility for a man of that size, actually, because it looked like White had got away there for a second, but Etienne just shut the door. So it's a throw-in for Joe Oliver. Oliver tries to throw it towards White again, and Miles Bright just steps in. Just needs to be careful. Good, sensible play from Miles there. Just pops the ball off Stevenson's shins for a throw-in to Town, which Marodza will take his time over. Wouldn't be surprised to see Shane put this down the line towards Connor Falls, and he does. He loops the throw-in forward, and Connor... Now then, Brahima Diarra almost away there, and he's got the ball now. He's just offside, Brahima. It wasn't much in it, you have to say, because that's almost dead level with where we are here in the gantry. And the far centre-half, Lewis Brannan, was not far off playing Diarra on side there. And Adewoju high up the pitch to follow White in. That's a good little disguised pass there into Debola, and that's a good pass as well, as Marodza's got to be careful here. And Harrison strikes it, and that's a really good finish, to be fair, from Josh Harrison, the striker. And it has been coming, you have to say. They've been... in the ascendancy for the last few minutes here, Newcastle, and just before half-time, and that's the thing that'll annoy John Worthington the most. We're in the 44th minute here, and Josh Harrison makes it Huddersfield Town 1, Newcastle United 1. Nice finish from the young striker there, the 17-year-old. He made an intelligent run. He's been lively with his movement all half. Ball slid into him, and on the angle, he's put it in the only place that he can really score, down low to Belokovic's right-hand side, and not much that the keeper can do there. Newcastle ending the half. Well, it has been an even half, you have to say, so probably fair that the scoreline reflects that as we go into half-time, as it does currently. So, we start again here as Miles Bright brings the ball forward. Miles plays a lovely ball into Diarra now. Diarra draws Jones. Oh, Jones just overran it there. Such a shame, but really positive restart there from the young Terriers. The touch from Jones just allowed Joe Oliver to... poke the ball out on this far side, but you could see there Diarra and Bright combining to get Town on the front foot. Here is Brahima Diarra. Marodza pokes the ball back to Diarra. Diarra just puts his body in the way. He's got two men for company, so he has to just go backwards to Adewoju here, the left-sided centre-back. David just checks back, and he's looking for an option here. He has to go to Etienne Kamara, the deepest outfield Town player. Etienne just checks onto his left and gives it back to David Adewoju. We are into added time here. I must admit I didn't see a fourth official board go up, so I can't tell you how long we've got. But here's Marodza now. Marodza tries to cross the ball. It's going towards O'Brien Brady, but it's a good header. Here's Diarra, though. Picks up the second ball, Brahima Diarra. Pushes the ball right to Spencer. He's got O'Brien Brady on his outside. Brody's just tried to clip the ball in towards Falls and Diarra, but just overcooks it slightly, and it's good, positive goalkeeping from Oliver Marshall to come out and collect the ball. Relatively unchallenged in the end, but still good stuff from the United keeper, who has the ball back here. He's been very calm at playing out all half, and he pushes the ball into Oliver, who sensibly... Diarra does well there to win the header, and now here's Connor Falls. Falls, I think, was thinking there that Miles Bright might be running on, and it looked like he was going to shape up for a volley, and in the end he... Oh, now then, this is a challenge again here for Brodie Spencer. The ball's gone out, though. Anderson just couldn't keep it in play. So it's a throw into Town again. Not sure how long we've got to play here. I'm being told by my colleagues on the far side that they didn't see the board either, so I'm a little bit in the dark about how long we're going to be playing here, but O'Brien Brady just runs the ball out there on that far side, so it's a throw into Newcastle United just inside the Town half. When we get to half-time, we will pretty quickly shut the stream off, so again, don't think there's anything wrong. And that's the end of the half, so there we go. So Huddersfield Town won, Newcastle United won at half-time in this FA Youth Cup third round tie. We will be back for you for live coverage in the second half after the interval. Thank you. Hi everyone, welcome back for the second half of tonight's FA Youth Cup third round tie between Huddersfield Town and Newcastle United. 1-1 here. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning into YouTube tonight. Please make sure you subscribe for all the latest Huddersfield Town videos whilst you're here. If you missed us, you missed the first half, sorry, Pat Jones opened the scoring for Town after half an hour, and it was the striker Josh Harrison hitting a late first half equaliser for Newcastle. We're just about to get underway here. Looks like no changes to either side during the half-time interval. So it will be Connor Falls and Miles Bright to take kick-off here for the Young Terriers, shooting left to right here in this second half. We're underway here as referee Jamie Waters gets us underway. It's another positive attacking kick-off from Town as Marodza turns inside to Brahima Diarra. Diarra just looking for options, pokes it back to Marodza. Shane just tried to find an infield pass to Miles Bright on 2 occasions there, but Newcastle, I think it was Debola, read it pretty well. A big physical presence, Debola, but look at Miles Bright. He's really unlucky. Etienne Kamara does really well just to win that 50-50 there, and Bright did really well for his side there after not getting the pass twice from Marodza. He charged back into his own half, outfought Debola just to win the ball. Kamara, nice forward run there to give it to Miles Bright. Connor Falls has got this for Town here now. He just slips as he tries to bring the ball in, and Town referee absolutely gets the ball slapped at him by Etienne Kamara from about a yard. Took it well. I don't quite know what the ref's saying. I think it's going to be a drop ball to Town here because Town in possession when Kamara tried to play that pass. So yeah, Kamara brings the ball away and plays it to Loic Aina, the Town skipper, for the first touch of the half. Here's Brodie Spencer, the Northern Irish right back. Tried to just slip a ball into O'Brien Brady, but the ball was just slightly angled in field, whereas Donaire was running towards the touchline. Good throw there from the Newcastle keeper, and it's actually rolled all the way to the right back, who's absolutely thundered what I think is a cross. It's gone straight to Nicholas Belokovic, the Town keeper, who rolls the ball out to Loic Aina here. Loic tries to play the pass into O'Brien Brady, but well read there from Joe White, the dangerous Newcastle attacker, and he wins the ball back for his side. Here's De Ball, plays a good ball in field to Harry Barkley, the centre-back. Well done, Pat Jones there. Etienne Kamara just bounces Elliot Anderson off the ball there. Good strength from Etienne. He's such a powerful lad for a 17-year-old. Here's Marodza, just needs to be careful because he's got people on him here, and he's tried to just flick the ball forward, and Marodza committed to the challenge there, but equally committed was Joe Oliver, the Newcastle right-back, who wins the 50-50 on that occasion. Well taken in there from Elliot Anderson, but lovely play there actually from Adewoju to nick the ball back off the Newcastle danger man, and now here's Spencer, who plays it out to O'Brien Brady. Brodie Spencer's going to go down the line, and good play there from Diarra. It's a good one, his touch, he's just going to take it too far, and now well done Brodie Spencer, who reacts well, and he's drilled the ball. I think he was looking for the run of Miles Bright there at the back post, but in the end it's well defended at the back stick there. I think it's Oliver again, the right back, who got around to head the ball dead for a Town corner. Really good stuff there from Brodie Spencer, alive to the possibility that Diarra might be challenged there, Brahima. Connor Falls now takes the Town set pieces generally. Pat Jones near the Newcastle keeper. Connor drifts one in. Oh, it's hit Brodie Spencer there. It just kind of hit him in the end, but and then David Adewoju not getting his attempted recycling to the box right, but here's Miles Bright now. Bright, he's got men on his right-hand side. He tried to find it, but to be fair to Joe White, he covered the pass well and now has to go left to Pat Jones instead, who's got Oliver. He's going to try and run Oliver on the outside. He does cross it, but good near-post defending from Barkley. Marodza's just got that one a bit wrong there, Shane Marodza, and now Etienne Kamara just gets his body in the way and says no through route here to Dylan Stevenson. Well done from the young Frenchman. Really mopping up well there, Etienne again. He's had a good game tonight, Etienne Kamara, as here's Adewoju, who drives forward. He plays the ball into the feet of Brahima Diarra. Diarra just delays the pass for a second. I think he's tried to find the inside run of Brodie Spencer there, but in the end plays it between Spencer and O'Brien Brady, and it runs through to Marshall, the keeper, who's always willing to come from his line to claim the ball. Now he tries to find Joe White, but he's overrun it, and Adewoju's the first to react. Here's Brodie Spencer, just needs to help from Miles Bright, who just pops it back to Spencer. Brodie Spencer all action down this right-hand side. Here's O'Brien Brady. Just advances at the plays. He's tried to play the ball, and now then, O'Brien Brady just tried to follow his own pass up there, and I think He might have just caught Marshall. There didn't look to be much of a movement towards Marshall from O'Brien Brady, and in fact the Newcastle defenders haven't reacted, which is generally a sign that it wasn't intentional if there was a clash. And looks like Marshall's okay, thankfully, because always got to be careful with a knock to a head. In fact, the referee is just calling O'Brien Brady over. It didn't look like he made a particular movement towards the ball, but referee just asking him to be careful, and thankfully Marshall's okay to continue. So all's well that ends well. Free kick to Newcastle. Marshall's going to strike this ball up towards the goal scorer Harrison. Spencer wins the first ball, and it's Brahima Diarra that does really well to pick up the seconds there for Town and plays it into Spencer. Here's O'Brien Brady again now. Donné just looking for an infield pass. That ball wasn't really on, but he's got it back, and he can find Spencer now. He's overlapping right back. Brody just looked like he was winding up for a crossfield pass there, but you can see there what they've tried to do. The ball absolutely crashes it out for a throw-in on this near side. Diarra just trying to play one of those little neat 1-2s around the corner for Spencer's infield run, but just got that slightly wrong on this occasion. Evander Grubb, one of Town's scholars, unfortunately unavailable tonight. Evander just picking the ball up here out of the thing. Evander, the youngest ever goal scorer in the senior FA Cup, actually. Scored for Bristol Manor Farm in one of the early rounds this year. Also played for Manor Farm in the Youth Cup in one of the early stages, so unfortunately the winger is unavailable for Town's side tonight. His time will come. He's still a first-year scholar now. Connor Falls. Oh, now it's a shame. It's good defending in the end there from Lewis Brannan, the centre-back, because the ball played to him really short, and in the end he had to fully commit to that challenge and cannoned off Falls and went straight through to the to his goalkeeper. So good take there from Elliot Anderson again, and he's ridden the challenge of Kamara really well, and he tries to prod a ball through, and now the number 7 tries to lift it over. Bilokovic just got caught in no man's land for a second there as Stevenson ran through onto Anderson's pass. Thankfully, at full stretch, Stevenson can only chip the ball onto the roof of net, but a bit of a let-off there from the young Terriers as Bilokovic forced to clear the ball. He gets good connection on it, left-footed, you have to say, and equally good win there from the right-back, who's a really committed defender. You have to say, Joe Oliver, he's done well tonight for his side, but Kamara picks the second ball up, and now Diarra takes a sensible position up on the Town right. Lovely feet there from Brahima Diarra. And now, oh, what a pass that is to Pat Jones. Now, can Pat finish? Great goalkeeping there from Marshall. What a pass from Brahima Diarra to pick out the inside run of Pat Jones there. Real chance for Pat to add a second of the evening, but fair play to the keeper, Oliver Marshall. Did really well to come from his goal quickly again and snuff out the danger. Here's Brahima Diarra again. What a pass it was from the Frenchman to unlock the Newcastle defence. Town still have it here now as they're in the ascendancy. Here's O'Brien Brady. Cuts in field. Kamara's got men on him, and he tries to flick it back to Aina, and he's got the pass wrong, and now it's the dangerous Anderson who's picked up the second ball, and Stevenson now runs in field. He's got clear of Marodza. Marodza does really well, Shane Marodza, the left back, to get back, stick that long leg out and win the ball ahead of Stevenson. Pat Jones has tried to turn his man there, Pat, and he still is. Good strength there from Pat, but he has to secure the pass, and it's more good defending from Oliver, the right back for Newcastle. And Newcastle's players just saying, let's just settle on the ball here, but they come forward again as Joe White. Oh, it's a good ball into the left back, and the left back strikes it. Good save from the feet of Bilokovic now, and Town just need to settle on the ball for a second as Kamara uses his body strength beautifully to shield the ball and play the ball out to the right-hand side from O'Brien Brady. It's a bit of an injection of pace here now, and here's Diarra again, who's tries to play a ball to Miles Bright this time, and Miles rounds the keeper, but the defender gets back, and it's come out to Pat Jones now. Pat on the outside, and fantastic defending again from the centre half. I think it's Barkley who's done brilliantly for his side, Harry Barkley, on 2 occasions there. Brahima Diarra with 2 unbelievable passes to put colleagues in behind the defence, but somehow Newcastle have survived it there. Credit to Nick Bilokovic as well, who did really well at the other end to save from the overlapping left-back Josh Scott with his feet. He's really come alive this game all of a sudden in the last 5 minutes. Unbelievable that Town didn't score one of those 2 efforts from Jones or Bright. Corner nonetheless, and here's Connor Falls who drifts it in. Looked like Diarra was at the near post there, but well cleared from Newcastle. Now here's O'Brien Brady. O'Brien Brady pushes the ball in field to Kamara. Here's O'Brien Brady again. Donné's the shout from Brodie Spencer, and he's tried to prod the ball towards O'Brien Brady, but he couldn't secure it, and that's a good ball down the line towards Harrison, but Adewaju sees it out. Unbelievable passes from Diarra there to set Bright, well, first Jones and then Bright through on goal, and fair play to Newcastle's goalkeeper and centre-half for seeing that out. But oh, now there's a danger here as the De Ball, the number 8, just secures a loose ball. It's a clever pass into Carleon as well, who drives forward the midfielder, and he's played a nice ball into the channel for the ever-mobile Harrison, who's got Aduwaju for company, and Spencer. Spencer does really well there, and Kamara has to be careful, but he really levers Anderson off the ball there. And Miles Bright with great feet again from Miles Bright to find Diarra. He's got Jones on his outside, Brahima. He knows he's there, he's just waiting for the run. Still waiting for the run, Brahima, and he finds Connor Falls, the striker. Connor tries to hit one on his favoured left foot, but ball cannons off the defender. And O'Brien Brady, I think, has tried to dip the ball in towards Diarra there, but couldn't get there in the end. And now it's not quite sure what's up. It's an offside, to be fair. Harrison's come back from an offside position, but some really exciting attacking play from both sides here all of a sudden. Miles Bright did really well on the edge of his own box there for Town a few moments ago to set that attack away. This always confuses fans still, I think. I don't think it's been explained well, but, well... You don't see that every day. Loic's just kicked the ball at the referee there, trying to clip the ball over the top for Pat Jones, and the ref gives him a bit of an unimpressed look. Ask if you could not kick the ball at the back of my head next time, that would be appreciated. Yeah, the offside is now given from where the player becomes active, so you can actually see offsides given in the opposing half. So it's... Oh, that's a poor ball from Aduwaju, but Miles Bright does brilliantly to put his body in the way, looks for a free kick, and now Newcastle are away. And you have to say, Loic Aina is playing everyone on side here. He's way too deep in the centre of the defence there. Loic just needs to get out of defence. Oh, that's a good ball, but I think Belokovic is going to just shield that one out from Joe White. Town just getting the line a bit wrong there as Aduwaju's pass was intercepted. Game has absolutely exploded into life in the first 12 minutes of this second half here, you have to say. There's chances at both ends as both sides try and get themselves into Friday's FA Cup 4th round draw. Or FA Youth Cup, I should say. Town's first team, of course, in action later in January in their own 3rd round tie at home to Plymouth Argyle here. You never know, you might see some of these faces in that team that day as well. Here's one who has already played for the first team, Brahima Diarra, who backheels the ball cleverly to Spencer. Spencer manages to clear the ball out of this side of the pitch now. And here's Aduwaju to stretch his legs. He's going to look to clip the ball towards Pat Jones, but Oliver again doing really well for his side. The right back is really stuck to his guns today, Joe Oliver, you have to say. And it's now it's a poor pass. Pat Jones, he's put it into the side netting. Connor Falls in the middle there, but an intercepted pass there. Marshall trying to play the ball out to the right-hand side. Jones got onto it. Marshall again sprung from his line, trying to smother the ball, and Jones can only roll it into the side netting. Really big chance there. Pat just annoyed with himself visibly. Was alive to the first ball. Marshall clips the ball towards Stevenson, who does well to hold off Marodza. Aduwaju doing really well against the lively Anderson, who just grabbed his leg there. He didn't like the challenge. Connor Falls does really well just to come on the blind side of the centre-back, but Brannan does well. That ball's just towards Anderson, who's a lovely pass there from Elliot Anderson. Etienne Kamara again uses his physical presence to take the ball off 2 Newcastle players. Here's Pat Jones now trying to run De Ball on the outside. De Ball, referee thinks Pat's gone down too early there. De Ball did well, the midfielder, to be fair, just stuck to his guns. Did just enough to put Jones off and wins his side a goal kick. Good defending there from the midfielder. De Ball and Carleon have done a good job for Newcastle just in front of their back four tonight, the 2 battling midfielders. So Marshall goes to De Ball. Here's Barkley, the centre-half, who's going to clip the ball forward on his left towards the dangerous Anderson. Loic Aina does really well, just nicks the ball off the Newcastle man, and now Loic drives forward. He's coming field now, needs to give the ball, Loic, and he has, and he's given it to Miles Bright. Miles moves forward, shoots, it's a good save there from Oliver Marshall, the Newcastle keeper. Really nice, positive play from the Town skipper, Loic Aina. Stepped in, won the ball off Anderson, drove forward, slipped a little reverse pass into Miles Bright, and Miles always on the hunt for goals. Effort on his weaker left side, but he forced Marshall into an impressive save. Town with the corner here, though, and it's Connor Falls, the number 9, to take it on his favoured left foot. Plenty of targets in the box. He's drifted one. It's going to be easy pickings for Marshall, unfortunately. They're uncharacteristic from Connor. His delivery is normally very reliable from that side towards the penalty spot, but too close to the goalkeeper on that occasion there from Connor. So Marshall claims well. Had a good game, Marshall, tonight, you have to say. He almost paid for that one error playing out, but he's been confident in the Newcastle goal, made a couple of good saves, and he's pretty good in possession too, as you see there, as Marodza has to step in and win the ball off Stevenson, and it's Anderson and Kamara. It's been a good battle this half, as Anderson has drifted more in field. Here's Joe White, the England and Youth International, and Brodie Spencer. Oh, referee. Well, it looked for all the team China like Brodie just got his body in the way of Joe White there, but the ref waited until both players went to ground and then gave the free kick Newcastle's way. Showing my bias here, but I don't agree with that decision, but there you go. But Joe White hopefully is okay, because he did feel the brunt of that challenge from Brodie Spencer. Looked like he just got his body in the way to me, but I would say that. Brahima Diarra making my point there to the referee Jamie Waters, but he's made a decision. Hopefully White's okay to continue. Just getting some treatment from the Newcastle physio. A couple of subs warming up, or 3 subs warming up on the far side for Town at the moment. And Aldo Krasnicki, the big holding midfielder. I think that's Josh Okpolokpo with him, another imposing physical presence, the centre-back, the Irish centre-back. And I believe that's Sonny Whittingham on the far side, who's a central midfielder. So 7 options on the bench tonight for John Worthington, as White is up, thankfully. He looks like he might have just got a bit of a dead leg there, so maybe more in that challenge than I could see from this lofty vantage point. It does look like White's going to be okay to continue, though, which is good news for the contest, as Barkley, the ball's rolling all over the shot, but Anderson is offside as he collects it anyway. He's drifted in a bit too early. Nice idea from Barkley, though, the young centre-back, Harry Barkley. He's one of the younger members of Newcastle's starting 11 tonight, only 16 years old. White, okay to continue, just a little bit of a hobble as he runs back onto the pitch, but glad to see there's no lasting injury there. Oh, that's a under-hit pass, and it might be that Adewadju was trying to find Etienne Kamara, but it's Carl Yon again who picks the ball up, and it's a lovely pass in field towards Anderson, and this is a problem here for Town. They're looking for a penalty there, but to be fair, Anderson straight up didn't ask for much, and Kamara has to win a slightly loose pass there from Diarra, so a few loose moments here from Town as Kamara now gives the ball away to Dylan Stevenson, and there's a big round of applause from John Worthington there on this far side, just asking Town to tidy up here a bit as the couple of slack passes go in, and Adewadju's under-hit that one to Bilakapic, and it's just rolled wide, and that's a really slack couple of moments there from the young Terriers with a few under-hit passes to dive in. He's trying to stand up as Harrison tried to nick in and score a opportunistic second for Newcastle. Thankfully, for those of us with the Town persuasion, the ball rolled just wide here. Town just need to get the foot on the ball again here, just secure things. It's been a much more frantic second half, far less control over proceedings from either side. Chances at both ends. Here's Marodza. Marodza pushes it down the line towards Jones, but again, Oliver does really well, and then Etienne Kamara apparently brings down Anderson right on the left edge of the penalty area there. Anderson just rolling around. It's hopefully he's going to be okay to continue. Dangerous free kick position here for Newcastle again. Town just need to be careful with Anderson. If you get too tight to him, he's shown he can roll you right on the edge of the penalty area as well there. So thankfully for Town, not a penalty. Anderson's going to be okay, which is good news as well. He heads over to the ball, has a quick word with Joe White, and moves away now. Town trying to keep a high defensive line, but they're currently higher than the wall, so it's need to be careful here as Marodza just goes to mark the limping Anderson in the middle of just on the edge of the 6-yard box. This is a really dangerous position here. Bilakapic has got to be careful of the near post effort, and it's slid in towards Stevenson, and bizarrely his own teammate gets in the way, so Connor Falls just tries to nod it into his the path of his teammate midfield, and now Loick's got to be careful here. Loic Aina, you could see that happening, but Loick's won the ball, and he clears his lines down the line there, and it's a good play infield there from Brennan, the centre-back, and well, he's just run into Kamara there, surely. He's given a, well, fair enough, he did impede him. Not much Etienne can do about that, but the ball got there first, so fair enough. Free kick to Newcastle. Another free kick to Newcastle, I should say, as this time a little bit further out than the last effort, and now just got to be careful here, and Donny O'Brien-Brady's aware of it as the left-back Josh Scott looks for a quick free kick, but it's going to be White again who fizzes the ball in, and now it's Marodza needs to be aware. Shane hits one forward towards Pat Jones, and it's absolutely no risk taken there from Joe Oliver, the right back, the last defender for Newcastle, powers it into the far side there. Town surviving a few free kicks there. White just under hit that one, you have to say, but can't be giving lots of free kicks away around the edge of the penalty box. Always dangerous positions, and Marodza now just looking for a subject to throw this ball into, and it's Kamara who just plays the ball forward towards Connor Falls. Newcastle back in possession. Newcastle just enjoying a good few minutes here, but it's a good interception from Brahima Diarra, and Jones brought down, but Diarra picks up the seconds, drives across sensibly and hits the ball. He's just off balance as he hits it there. Shame for Brahima, and he looks disappointed in himself, but sensibly just ran across the path of the ball there to stop the challenge coming in. Moved on to his favoured right foot, but miss hit from Brahima there. Slightly on the stretch, and the ball flies into the fantastic media stand, so goal kick to Newcastle United. We're about in the 66th minute here, actually, as White gets the ball from the goal kick. Sensibly plays it back into lovely play from Etienne Kamara there to move ahead of Elliot Anderson and win the ball back for the Young Terriers. Donny O'Brien-Brady just secures a nice pass to Loic Aina here as Town needs to get the foot on the ball, and they've got O'Brien-Brady free on the right-hand side again. Diarra just makes a sensible inside run that O'Brien-Brady uses as a decoy, and he just pushes the ball back to Kamara. Kamara seeing lots of the ball this half so far and doing a good job with it. Marodza forced to pop the ball back to Adewaju. Adewaju plays it to Kamara. Kamara under pressure from Elliot Anderson, but good pass into Miles Bright, who takes a sensible first touch and skips past Anderson. Miles now, and here the young Londoner rolls the ball into Donny O'Brien-Brady. He's got Diarra with him. He's also got Miles Bright inside for the pass. Here's Miles now. He direct play again as he pushes the ball. He tries to find Brahima Diarra, and that ball's just run out, I think. Yes, it has. Just slightly sold Diarra short there with the pass, Miles, but no harm done as Town, with a throw-in, Brodie Spencer takes quickly to Donny O'Brien-Brady. O'Brien-Brady just pushes the ball into Diarra. Exchanges passes, and Town will look to push the ball out to the left-hand side now through Loic Aina to his centre-back colleague, David Adewaju. He's got Anderson for company, but Adewaju steps forward. Kamara just fills in as a result. Adewaju's pass just hits the defender there, but he's done well, the big centre-half, to win that second ball and just make sure no danger comes from a counter. Newcastle, really good, solid shape when Town in possession. The midfield drop right back to the defence and try and cut out those threaded passes that David Adewaju looks for. Good play from Harrison, but the ball ends up with Diarra, and Brahima turns nicely past Joe White and feeds a little reverse pass into Miles Bright. Bright's got Pat Jones, but he finds Brahima Diarra again. Diarra in the Newcastle box, flicks it to Jones. Jones onside despite the protestations of the Newcastle defence. Diarra tries to skip past De Ball, but De Ball initially does well. Brahima finds Etienne Kamara here, who's got options to his right. Here's O'Brien-Brady, who's got Spencer on his outside. O'Brien-Brady clips a dangerous ball into the box, and it's the keeper almost impeded by his own defender there, and unfortunately for Town, it's I think Miles Bright just cannons into, I believe it's Lewis Brannan, and it looks like Miles is going to be shown a yellow card here. There he is. Miles not complaining much about that. It was a late challenge. Brannan did well there, cleared the ball ahead of Miles and then took the contact well. Looks like he's going to be fine, which is good news. Now here's Barkley, the other centre-half for Newcastle, just pushes the ball in, and that's a good pressure there from Etienne Kamara, but equally Anderson does well to win the ball back there after initially losing out. Ball just rolls clear of Carolion initially, and Miles Bright does well to just nick the ball off him as he tries to move forward. There's no way that's going to be taken from there, and the referee rightly pushes Josh Scott back into his own half for the throw-in. Really good game this, actually, if you're a neutral or a Town or Newcastle fan. You see the young talent on display for both sides. Joe White is a bit unlucky there. Donny O'Brien-Brady, just White's attempted return pass to Scott was just off target, but it actually hit Donny on the shoulder and went out for another throw-in. Ball played down the line towards Aina, and I think that's a foul, yeah. Fair enough. Bit of an unnecessary one because the ball had only rolled past Harrison and Adewaju was going to clean up, but Loic just a bit too tight on that occasion, just dragged the goal scorer Harrison down. Another free kick to Newcastle now. Joe White and the left-back Scott. Look like Scott's going to try and roll this short, and he does. And Donny O'Brien-Brady's got to be careful here because that can happen. But Spencer alive to it, and I think Scott felt that one. Brodie Spencer's got to be careful here. Brahima does really well, Brahima Diarra, to roll that ball, turn his man, and Connor Falls tries to play that ball down the line to Jones. Jones and Oliver in another good battle here, and this time Jones does well to push the ball to Brahima Diarra, who checks back onto his right. Plays it into Pat Jones. Pat's going to overrun that, yeah, and you could see that happening. Etienne Kamara judges that perfectly, just to let Anderson overrun the ball and nick the pass back for Town. Now here's Donny O'Brien-Brady onto his preferred left foot. Donny slides it into Pat Jones, who's come in field here, Pat, for a second, and finds himself well tracked by Carolion again. Here's Miles Bright. Good feet from Miles, a little energetic burst in field. Has to check back out though, he's looking for a pass. He still on the ball here, Miles. Now here's Brahima Diarra. Diarra tries to shoot on his left, but he's just stretching again and lifts the ball over the crossbar. Really lively stuff from Miles Bright though, who's weaving and bobbing to try and find space. Pat Jones also drifting in field to try and find something. Newcastle very quickly take this goal kick here, and here's Anderson, who's got that man Kamara for pressure again, and it's lifted forward. Town need to deal with this now. Loic Aina, solid header, and Etienne Kamara. Anderson's looking for a free kick, but Kamara is such a powerhouse that he just nonchalantly shrugs Anderson off the ball, and now here's Miles Bright now on the ball. He's trying to square up the defender, moves past him like a stood still there, and now here's Donny O'Brien-Brady. Finds Miles Bright again in the box. Got to be careful with Miles in this position because he's got such quick feet. He's gone down like a sack of spuds there, Miles, and he's not going to get anything for that. But Newcastle clear the ball, and it's good play from Anderson and from Aina and Kamara again. And now Etienne's had a little shot from around 30 yards. It's always drifting over the bar of Oliver Marshall. If that one goes in, it's FA Youth Cup goal of the season, I think. But again, nothing ventured, nothing gained for Town. Ball clipped forward into the path of Stevenson, and he's got Adewaju for company. Nice little inside pass. Now then, what's happened here? Because for a second, Harrison was completely on his own, and Bilokopic's clearance goes to the left back, Scott, and Town absolutely all over the shop here for a second. And Josh Scott with a fantastic pass towards Anderson. And now here's Dylan Stevenson, who's going to try and find Anderson again. And Anderson rolls in field. You've got to be careful here. Town all over the... Oh, that takes a deflection. It's out for a corner. Town just lost the defensive shape there for a second, and we're lucky that the attempted through pass to Harrison didn't find its target, because if it had, it'd have been completely through on goal. As it is, it's a Newcastle corner with 27 minutes of this second half gone. Elliot Anderson's going to take this, the Newcastle skipper. Every Town player barring Pat Jones, either in the Town box or in the D, as Donny O'Brien-Brady just moves out of it to make me wrong. But it's a good ball, and now he's done well there. Actually, it's I think Marodza who just eases Harrison under the ball there at the far post to make sure the ball rolls dead. It was a good delivery from Anderson, you have to say. I think Bilokopic's just thought about playing that one quick, but I think sensibly just decides not to, and instead pushes the ball out to Adewaju, who fires the ball into Diarra, who takes a lovely first touch and opens the pitch out there, and he's gone from his own 25-yard line into the same position in the Newcastle box here, as Miles Bright knows that challenge is coming from De Ball and just stands up straight, makes sure he takes the contact well, and he finds Diarra again now, Brahima. Brahima pushes the ball out right to Donny O'Brien-Brady, who's got the full-back for company. Donny twists and turns here on this right-hand side. Finds Etienne Kamara, who knows that Harrison is lingering, and just pushes the ball out to Loic Aina, who in turn finds Adewaju, the deepest two Town players. Adewaju out to Marodza. Marodza tries to find Miles Bright. Now this is a problem. It's a momentary 3-on-2 here, and Adewaju, the centre-back, just has to hold up Dylan Stevenson for a second, and really good stuff there from Etienne Kamara again, who pushes the ball. Oh, it's offside, but that was close. That was really close as Pat Jones crosses the ball to no one in the middle of the box. I think Pat's frustrated there. Kamara did really well, won the second ball again. Tried to release his goal-scoring colleague. He must have just gone a bit too early there, Pat, because he was into all kinds of space had he found it. I think there's going to be a first substitution of the evening here as we enter the 74th minute, and it's Newcastle United with the change. It's the number 8. I think it's the number 8. Yes, it is. So that's the end of the night for Lucas De Ball, the midfielder. As me and my colleague Adam Tomlinson saying, it's Regan Thompson coming on, and interesting career background, Regan. He He's actually played senior football. He's Scottish, 17 years old, Scottish under-17 international, signed from Queen's Park in January. He actually had played about 7 or 8 games for them in League Two at senior level, Thompson, so we'll have learned all about the robustness of Scottish football in that short spell, I'm sure. He's a Glasgow native. So Thompson on from De Ball in central midfield there as Town win the throw-in on this on the far side to me as Diarra moves past two. Unbelievable play from Brahima, who's come alive this half. He's got Miles Bright in the middle and he finds Miles now. And now he goes on for the return pass and Miles slips the ball in behind the left back to Donny O'Brien-Brady, who's got Brodie Spencer for company. Brodie drives in field. He's trying to spin and find his way for the cross there. The defenders do well, actually. And now it's O'Brien-Brady who... I think he's tried to lift that towards Marodza, but it's Miles Bright that takes it down, and he's tried to just backheel that into the path of, I think it's Pat Jones, and keeps the ball in the end, and it's pushed out left to Marodza. Shane, sensible. Back to David Adewoju there. Town keeping possession, probably for the best they have in this second half so far, you would say, as Aina clips the ball. It's a good ball, is it? Towards Pat Jones it is. Hard to judge the angle from up here, but really well judged pass from Lowick. And Pat runs into the middle, and now Pat touched the ball, and the Newcastle man took him down, and nothing doing there in the end as Josh Harrison runs the ball out. Pat Jones, a couple of Town players just vaguely interested there for a second in a possible penalty, but it would have been a soft one, you have to say. As it is, Town keep the ball, and Adewoju to Lowick Aina here. Aina just looking for an infield pass. He's got Etienne Kamara has just been shut down there by Regan Thompson, so it goes to Brahima Diarra, who's just dropped between the two centre-backs. Diarra just settles on the ball, draws the man in before playing it to Adewoju. Here's Shane Marodza. Good feet from Marodza. Tries to turn out back down the line to find Pat Jones, but he's the tenacious Oliver blocks the ball out for a throw-in. John Worthington there, you can hear on the far side, just applauding his young chargers, just telling him to keep going, keep concentrating. So at this point in the game now, we've got about 15 minutes of normal time remaining, that you just get sloppiness here and there, a lack of concentration because of tiredness that can settle in as a firm pass from Bilokovic out to David Adewoju. Adewoju with a dangerous ball into Diarra, and that's probably a sensible decision from Brahima there, because he's probably going to get booked for it, I think. The referee's just calling Brahima over here, and it's... normally the kind of decision you see at first team level, and not really with academy level. You normally have to murder someone to get booked, but not tonight. The referee applying the letter of the law. It was pretty cynical from Brahimi, I have to say. I think he realised that Newcastle had a bit of an overload on there, but still a little surprising. Probably correct. As it is, Joe White, one of the Newcastle danger men, is over this free kick here. Town can't keep giving free kicks away. Defended the ones they've had so far pretty well, but dangerous situations, as we all know. Set pieces at any level. Town setting the defensive line up quite high on the edge of their own penalty area here, as White has a shot, and it's easy pickings from Bilokovic there, who got his positioning all right. And look at Miles Bright now. He thought about playing it, but in the end he couldn't. And he's, in fact, thrown a fantastic ball to Connor Falls. And Connor's good tackle there from the number 4, Carl Yon again. Pat Jones does really well there, though, wins the ball back off the midfielder. Marodza secures it well and finds Etienne Kamara, who just sensibly gives it to Lowick Aina. Lowick into Brahima. Brahima takes the contact from Thompson really well, and he's opened the pitch out now again. And Diarra runs past one. He's done well here, Brahima. He's had a good second half so far, just slightly off target with a couple of shots, but his general midfield play has been pretty good. Here's Pat Jones. Sees the ball in a tight area from Marodza. Marodza to Miles Bright. Miles Bright's got people for company, but since when has that bothered Miles? He shrugs clear of them, although he has to check back, and he's looking for a pass here. I think he was looking for the running behind from O'Brien-Brady, but it didn't come. And in the end, O'Brien-Brady has to go back to Lowick Aina under pressure from... nope. Well, does well there, Donny, because he was under pressure, and Kamara just pops it back. Every Newcastle player well behind the ball here as Lowick Aina just steps inside the Newcastle half. Not quite sure what Lowick's doing there, but... instead fires the ball into Pat Jones. Poor touch there from Pat Jones. And now this is what Town have got to be aware of, a potential break from Newcastle. Although Jones put Carolion under pressure there, and he forced the errant pass towards Harrison that went out for a throw-in. Kamara ever available on the ball, and Etienne given time and space to operate in tonight as plays a good pass into Brodie Spencer, who just drifted into a nice pocket there, the right back, as O'Brien, Brady and Spencer, I think, looking for the pass, and he's being signalled as being onside from the official. Brodie clips the ball in towards Connor Falls. The keeper does well, takes it high. Really good goalkeeping there from Oliver Marshall. The cross, in truth, a bit too close to him, but still had to do the work there, Marshall, and did it well again tonight, the Newcastle keeper. Connor Falls now, here we are, Brahima Diarra putting Thompson under pressure, and Marshall clears one. Etienne Kamara reads that beautifully, but so does White, to be fair. He wins the second ball well, and that's a good ball, actually. It just hits Harrison on the back and allows Spencer to clear up to Adewoju. Adewoju just needs to be careful here, because Harrison... Nick Bilokovic very calm on the ball, just pushes it out to Aina, who in turn feeds it down the right-hand side for Brodie Spencer. Here's Diarra now. Again, Newcastle dropping really deep. Town have got an overload on the left-hand side if they can play it, but Diarra can't quite see it. Instead, pushes it square across the pitch to Adewoju. Great pass to Shane Marodza, who takes it well, Marodza. Marodza crosses towards Connor Falls, but it's dropped now to, Miles Bright gets that all wrong. He leans back as he looks to strike the ball. It was good play from Marodza. He really received the pass well from David Adewoju. Got the ball out in front of him, crossed. Decent ball towards Connor Falls. Cut out by Brannan's header, and then Miles Bright on his weaker side, the left side, just gets his technique wrong, leans back into the shot and sends it high into the lower tier of the Fantastic Media. Now then, Adewoju just gets under the ball, and Kamara, again, just levers Anderson off the ball really nicely. He's done really well tonight, Etienne, actually. He's really got a hold of Anderson this half, and it's been a good battle between the two, the clearly talented boys. Brahima Diarra just uses the run of O'Brien Brady as a bit of a... Oh, now he's had a little shot there, actually. I don't know if that was a cross or a shot, but it hit, I think, Regan Thompson and just rolled through to the goalkeeper, who claims it well. Marshall. Marshall, really solid performance tonight from the Newcastle keeper, as Joe White, I think, realised he was under pressure there from Brodie Spencer, tried to rush the pass to Oliver and just thumped it out towards the tunnel here at the John Smith Stadium, and allows Town to regain possession. Lots of possession for Town here in the last 10 minutes. Still no breakthrough for the second goal, as Kamara picks out Aina, centre-back. Loick's driving forward now. Where's he going, Loic? Aina is stopped on the edge of the Newcastle box there. A big shout from Loic, you have to say, and the Newcastle man suggesting that he did win the ball, but the referee disagrees. So it's a free kick to Town now on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. It is quite wide, you have to say, so whether Connor Falls will want to hit this or cross it into the box, we will see. It's a real angle to try and score from, you have to say. Falls naturally left-footed, the Northern Irish 16-year-old Diarra, the right-footed option, but he's moving away from the ball here now. Connor Falls drifts the ball into the box, and it looked like it was going towards the back stick there for a second where Loic Aina was, but really determined stuff there from the Newcastle player, and I think that's Marodza's done a pretty good job of holding Anderson up there, actually, you have to say, but danger not over by a long shot here now, as the ball is switched pretty well out to the left-back Scott, who lively when he drives forward, but there's that man again, Etienne Kamara, who's a candidate for me for man of the match here tonight. The Frenchman is cleaned up beautifully in that number 6 position that we see Jonathan Hogg occupy for the first team. I mean, what a ball that is out to the left-hand side to Pat Jones, as Pat uses Marodza's run to disguise an inside run and instead checks out to Miles Bright. Miles Bright again just checks onto his favoured right. He tries to knock a little ball into the channel for the run of Connor Falls, but the goalkeeper is alive to it again. Marshall, really alert figure off his line, and comes to claim it. Gets a round of applause from the bench. We've got about 6 minutes of normal time here remaining. Just a reminder that if it is level after 90 minutes, we do go to an additional 30 minutes of added time. They still feel like there's going to be a couple of chances there, though. And look at the number 7 for Newcastle. That was an attempted pass into the run of Stevenson, who just drifted in off the right flank. He would have been through on goal with that third man run there, but thankfully for Town, the pass is slightly off target, as Aina finds Marodza again here, Shane. The Northampton-born youngster just needs to be careful here. Stevenson gets back and does his defensive work. He's really a diligent worker, Dylan Stevenson, you can say, but good play then from Kamara and Marodza just to find Adewoju, who goes all the way back to Bilokovic, the goalkeeper. Needs to be careful here, Nick, and it's a good measured pass out to Etienne Kamara, who's got Pat Jones on that left again, and O'Brien Brady just needs to hold his run here. He's just gone a bit offside. It's a shame because it's a fantastic touch from Donny when he went through on goal, but he did just go a little bit early. They're right underneath us here, you have to say. Right idea from Etienne Kamara, and right idea in terms of the run from O'Brien Brady, but he just went a little bit too early there, Donny. So it's a Newcastle free kick. No subs from John Worthington still. Like I said, we have got 7 tonight. If it does go to extra time, subs get to add a fourth. Oh, sorry, teams get to add a 4th sub. Harrison, the goal scorer for Newcastle, just with the attentions of Loic Aina. He does well to turn actually on the ball and drive in field, and Aina just puts his arm on him there, so he just shrugs him off. And Miles Bright's going to have to chase that ball out all the way to the right side for Barkley, the centre-half, who steps over halfway nicely here now. Now it's a bad pass though, and I think that's Marodza actually, the left-back that had followed his man in field. And Shane, really nice mover, Shane, and he does really well, Shane Marodza actually. He gets down the left-hand side, and a good recovering tackle there. No, it isn't. It's judged a free kick there, but you have to say really nice play from Shane Marodza. He followed his man in field, Stevenson, nicked the ball off him, and then drove Town a good 40 yards up the pitch before winning that free kick. Really good stuff from the 16-year-old. You can see, like I said earlier, it was the way that Shane moves that really caught the eye of the Town coaches when he was on trial here, and you can see why. He covers a lot of ground very quickly. Shane, really long stride. A couple of players just stretching out here now halfway. Marodza and Miles Bright. It's a big old pitch, the John Smith Stadium, and even though these lads play quite often twice a week, it's a pressure situation, big pitch. It's not uncommon to see some of the young players stretching out in FA Youth Cup games. Here's Falls, who drifts the ball in. That's a good header. I think it was Diarra that won it there. Like I say, he's not the biggest Brahima, but he does have a good jump on him, but unfortunately he can only direct his header over the crossbar. Quickly restarted here by Newcastle, and you can see both sides are looking for the win. As Connor Falls now, can he get through to Miles Bright? Oh, it's good defending there from the holding midfielder Nathan Carolion, who's done really well for his side tonight. Alert to that. Miles Bright just nicked onto the ball, tried to work the space to shoot in the box. He ended up about 10 yards out there, but Carolion stuck to his guns, did really well to force the ball out for a corner. But it is a corner to Town, and it's Connor Falls, the Northern Irishman, on this near side that's taking it. Drifts the ball. Better ball this time. It's a really good defensive header from, I think, I can't actually see which defender it was. It might have been Lewis Brannan. Hopefully he's okay. He just, he took a little bit, honest challenge there, but it took a little bit of a collision once the ball had gone. I think it is Brannan. Yes, it is, a number 6 for Newcastle. Really vivid kind of lime green, yellow numbers on the back of these all-black shirts here for Newcastle is really helping me out tonight. Really good centre-back play there, just when his side needed him. Just rubbing the back of his head, but not a big collision, so thankfully okay to continue as the goalkeeper, Marshall, pounds one forward. Marodza does really well with his run. And what pace there from Pat Jones in this minute of the game to just momentarily get clear of the right-back, and he has again, and he's good play from Barkley, who just covers his full-back, just nods the ball into the ground, and Kamara does really well. What a great battle that is against Anderson, and looks like Anderson's just backing into Etienne, and referee, to be fair, watched that all the way very closely, didn't give anything. Etienne just parked his big frame in the way and made the ball go out for a throw-in. As you have to say, Shane Marodza absolutely darts that throw-in at Brahima Diarra, and it's Anderson this time is brought down by Kamara, so it's going to be a free kick to the Magpies on that far right-hand side, and I think they'll use the opportunity to send a few forward. Just off camera here, Donny O'Brien Brady really diligent in following the left-back all the way up the pitch here, as it looked like they were going to try and take a quick one. Newcastle do go short in the end, and it's Anderson, the danger man, jinking and turning, looking for some space. Gives it back to Joe White. Joe White, really nice burst to go past Kamara, and Town just need to be careful here, and it's Adewaju just hooks the ball clear, and now Town need to pick the seconds up as Newcastle win the first header. It's a bad touch there. It was Boz bouncing ball from Brodie Spencer, and now there's players down the left-hand side here, and it's a good ball into Scott again, and good play there from Donny O'Brien Brady, who really tracked his man into the middle of the box there. I think when he realised that Scott was going to get there, he just veered off and covered that near post area of the winger and did really, really well for his team. Late pressure for Newcastle here though, and it's going to be White, number 11, to take the corner. Again, sending the bodies forward here. Lots of instruction coming from the Newcastle bench. Just making sure that they are set right at the back in case of a potential Town break as they send, they swap Regan Thompson and Josh Scott. Ball drilled towards, that almost dropped there to Harry Barkley in the 6-yard box for Newcastle, but in the end it didn't, and Pat Jones has no idea where that ball is, and Newcastle have a big old swing at it. There's a few tired swings now coming from both sets of players as Marodza tries to nick the ball up the line to Diarra, but it's just rolled out of play on halfway. We're about 15 seconds from the added time being signalled at the end of this second half. Looking increasingly like we might go to the extra 30 minutes here, and there will be some tired body on the pitch if that goes, as Anderson might have other ideas as he tries to chip one down the line. Adewoju just needs to get his body going there, and just eased off it for a second there by the number 7, Dylan Stevenson, and does really well there. Adewoju was 2 minutes signalled at the end of this half, and equally diligent play there from Joe White, who gets the ball drilled into his thigh as a reward from Adewoju. Did really well there, the young centre half for Town, just leaned into his man as he was under pressure and made sure there was no way out there. As Diarra finds Kamara, who swings a nice ball right to Aina, the French connection there for Town. Loic almost trips over nothing there. He's found a great ball into Miles Bright, who just couldn't quite bring it in and turn. Miles has got Pat Jones to his left, and he finds Pat, the goal scorer. Pat's got Shane Marodza. He finds him. Here's Marodza in a crossing position. Tried to just check back there, and the ball wasn't on. It's a throw into Town, although Newcastle absolutely certain it should be theirs, but Marodza's going to get the chance to take this throw in, and he does quickly. Here's Pat Jones, the goal-scoring winger. Pat with a nice ball towards the back post, but just slightly overhit, and Scott, the full-back, just sees the ball out fairly comfortably there with O'Brien Brady nearby. Got about 50 seconds left of this second half here. It is Huddersfield Town 1, Newcastle United 1 in the FA Youth Cup third round. Looks like we're going to be going to 30 minutes of extra time now, unless something happens in this final throw of the dice, as Marodza does really well. The tall Shane Marodza does play centre-back, like I've said, and you can see why there. Now then, here's Connor Falls, gets his body in the way, and really good stuff there from Carolion, who just dives forward now. Adewoju has got time on the ball, hopefully he's being told. David Adewoju rolls it back to Bilokovic. Bilokovic, I think, tried to drill that to Loic Aina. Brodie Spencer does really well for him there. Aina just needs to be careful here. Last moments of the game, and he's lost the ball in a dangerous position as Kamara. Well, no, there's nothing there. The attack has just fallen over. You can see it. Bilokovic trying to launch a late attack towards Falls and Jones, but Newcastle centre-back stick to the task. We're still playing, even though we're now over that 2 minutes, and Regan Thompson now, the late substitute for Newcastle, tries to drive forward. He's really getting at the Town defence, and it's a great last-ditch challenge from Loic Aina there, because that looked really dangerous for a second. And now the referee blows his whistle to bring an end to the 90 minutes, and we are going to go into 30 minutes of added time here. It's Huddersfield Town 1, Newcastle United 1. That means 30 minutes added here in the FA Youth Cup to try and decide a winner. Like we said pre-match, if we don't have one after that 30 minutes, we'll go to penalties. We'll have a short break here, so I can just get a drink, and then we'll be back for you for the start of the 30 minutes of added time. So we're not far away here from starting the 30 minutes of extra time, and there is going to be a first Town change of the evening, and it's the number 7, Donny O'Brien Brady, the 16-year-old's evening is ended after 90 minutes, the right winger. And it's Darnell Baxter-Lane, one of the second years, another London-born individual. Really tall figure, different kind of player to Donny, really skillful. Try and drive the ball forward at every opportunity. Darnell Baxter-Lane's on the right side. About to get underway here for the first of two 15-minute halves. There's no golden goal or anything like that. We are going to play 30 minutes come what may here. Some tired bodies at the end of that. We've just had over 2,000 people watching the stream here tonight, so thank you for all of you for tuning in to Huddersfield Town's official YouTube channel. Again, if you like to subscribe, you'll get nice notifications whenever we put any content up, and we do have a lot of first team content go up there quite often, and training videos and feedback from the squad, so lots to enjoy through the week there as well. We will try and do more of these academy streams. Certainly if Town get through to the next round of the Youth Cup, we should see more, as Town in possession at the start of this second half as Miles Bright chips a lovely ball out towards Brodie Spencer, the right back here. Brodie drills the ball, it's just ahead of Diarra, and it's well taken by Regan Thompson, who's driving the ball again here. He's got Baxter-Lane, who's just come on, herring back. Good energy there from Darnell to start, and it's forced out to left-hand side as Baxter-Lane shuts his man down. Now it's Miles Bright just covering the yards again there, just making sure that the midfielder can't get the return ball. It pops back to Barkley. Here is Brahima Diarra has read that. He's really unlucky, Brahima, actually, because he read that pass. He left his man, popped out to put pressure onto Lewis Brannan, who he did all the right things. He intercepted the pass, and then it just hit his arm, obviously, so fair decision. Brahima knew it, you could tell from his reaction, but the idea was right, absolutely, as tried to press, but Newcastle get the ball, and he chips the ball forward towards Dylan Stevenson. Marodza does well, again wins the first header, as Jones does well to win his side, a throw-in off Stevenson on this near side here. Well done, Pat Jones, the Town goal scorer, back on the half-hour mark this evening. Connor Falls has moved to try and get that, but Stevenson again moves to get the ball, and Diarra challenges it with Regan Thompson and loses out on this occasion as Kamara forces the error, and Marodza. Pat Jones with the ball now, and he tries to run down the outside. Great pace from Pat Jones. Pat Jones drifts in field, the winger, and he finds Brahima Diarra, who's got space now. Brahima cuts inside onto his left. He's just getting a little bit under his feet there. A great ball from Pat Jones to Brodie Spencer. Spencer tries to pull it back, and it's back with Brodie Spencer again. Now here's Jones, tries to side foot it, pinging around the Newcastle area here, and eventually headed clear by a couple of Newcastle players, and that's a good ball out now, and Town need to recover because Adewoju's having to go out to this left-hand side to try and shut Stevenson down. Well done, David Adewoju. Sensed the danger there, just tried to hold him up while Town players got back, and now Connor Falls similarly doing a good job with the right back there as Town scramble back in defence. Carillon plays it left to Brannan, the centre-back, who drives out of defence and finds Anderson, who's in field. Is Spencer. That's a great ball up to Harrison. Now this is a big chance for Newcastle. Great save, Bilokovic does really, really well there, because it was a great pass forward, and it's Harrison with a very similar run to the one that which he scored the first goal. This time he tries to go high into the top corner, and Bilokovic, the big Aussie, is equal to it with a really good two-handed save to push the ball strongly over his own crossbar. Really good opportunity there for Newcastle, as good a one as they've had since they scored their equaliser just on the stroke of half-time. As it is, it's earned them a corner, and it's Joe White absolutely in no rush here, just trying to get some energy back in the legs as he comes over to this near side to take the corner. Baxter-Lane, another tall figure now in the Town box to try and help defend these set pieces, and there have been quite a few for Newcastle, you have to say. It's clobbered towards the back post, but overhit on this occasion by the England under-18 youngster, and it's a goal kick that Bilokovic will take. Good save there from Nick, he did really well. Nick impressed when he came over in here on trial late in 2019. He played in effectively a B-team game against Hibernian as a 17-year-old, and did really well, actually, as a good pass from Adewoju to find the infield run of Kamara, and now Kamara into Diarra. Diarra just kind of feints back and then bursts forward. He's got runners now, Brahima. In fact, he's kind of run, oh my word, he's done a What's going on here? Brahima Diarra jinking and turning. He's got to play it now. Now Connor Falls completely swings at the ball, and such a shame because Brahima did so well up until that point. And then Town have managed to get it back as Baxter Lane tries to hit the ball, but and he does well there, Darnell. He's just shrugged off the man as he's won the ball back. He needs to try and give it now. And here's Connor Falls, who's going to try and shoot again. It's, I think, deflected as Connor just falls, ironically, but in the end, it's a good claim there. Diarra did everything right there until the last bit. He just kind of dallied on the ball slightly, but again, drove the ball from just over halfway right into the heart of the Newcastle penalty area. And you can see all the talent that's made Carlos Corberán give him his first team debut at Bournemouth on Saturday. Ball clipped forward, and again, really nice stuff from Aina, but equally good hold-up play from Harrison, who did well there. Marodza, he looked for that free kick, and Marodza's managed to play it into Connor Falls now. Connor, centre-half, stepped across him well there, to be fair. Marodza's followed the ball all the way in, so there's an extra man here on the wing now, and to be fair, Barkley has found him perfectly. And now it's Diarra who's having to fill in at left-back, and right idea from Harrison, just tried to run the ball into space, but overran the ball. He was a bit annoyed with himself there, and Adewaju sees the ball out for a throw-in. Marodza just taking a breather here, and as was Diarra, but he's won the ball back. Marodza just has to be careful here as Kamara turns beautifully inside. Really nice stuff from Etienne, and great pass out to Miles Bright as well. That's really good play from Etienne Kamara. Here's Miles Bright. He had two on his right-hand side. He's twisting and turning, sending Thompson everywhere. But here's Darnell Baxter-Lane now. Baxter-Lane looking to run the man on the outside, and he does, and he's turned. Now he needs to find the man. He's tried to find Connor Falls, and it's just too high for Falls there. He did well to leap and get something on the ball, but in the end he couldn't generate the power to really test Oliver Marshall. Nice play from the newcomer, Baxter-Lane there. It does look like Town in the throes of about to make a second substitution, and as Analdo Krasniqi, the Albanian under-17 international, is stood next to John Worthington and George Danaher, just getting some instructions as Town in the ascendancy, although that slightly errant touch there from Pat Jones just as he tried to take the ball on the half turn. Marodza's popped out now to try and cause the fullback some issues, and Town just need to be aware now. Really good stuff from Kamara again as Diarra just shows his clever feet there again and finds Pat Jones on the left hand side. Here's Pat Jones now, the speedy Welshman. He's tried another deflected shot, but on this occasion the deflection from Oliver does enough to take the pace off the ball and just see it deflected into the grateful hands of Oliver Marshall. It is going to be Krasniqi, I think, that's coming on here. He is a holding midfielder. Really nice throw from Marshall in the meantime as he... oh, that's a good ball as well, actually, especially if Marshall gets something on it and Spencer does just enough to cover there, and looks like there's a collision between the two. It might be cramp that Brodie Spencer's suffering with. A really nice ball from Joe Oliver, the right back. Just looking here as to what's happening with the sub, and it is Town, and that's going to be the end of the night for Miles Bright. The all-energy midfielder, that's his evening shot. He did look a little tired earlier when he was chasing after the ball. He had a good game, Miles, particularly started the game really well. So he's going to be replaced now, Town's second change, and Aldo Krasniqi coming on, another midfielder, so it's like for like, although not quite the same in the way they play. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Krasniqi take the deepest midfield position and see Etienne Kamara move up the pitch here with that change, because that's Etienne's has that ability, and Ronaldo is more at home as that midfield six, really big. Ronaldo as well, real threat off set pieces, and that, speaking of, it's a good win originally from the number 6 there, Lewis Brannan, but he heads it way off target. Just see how Town line up here. No, to be fair, Kamara has stayed in the deep position, and Ronaldo Krasniqi is high up the pitch there. He is a big, tall player, Ronaldo Krasniqi. Brahima Diarra, amazing strength there from Brahima. He's just ridden one challenge, and then Connor Falls, he's just trying to win the second, but the centre-back steps out well, and now Pat Jones has to be diligent in his defensive work, because Oliver has shown really good energy levels, the Newcastle right-back tonight, to in a really high-energy battle against Jones, who is a quick player, Pat Jones. Newcastle just in possession here, a lot of tired bodies out on that pitch, and good win there from Brodie Spencer, though, and Brodie's charging forward, the Northern Irishman, and we'll see if Brahima can win the ball now. He's just fallen over on the ball, but Baxter Lane's just tried to do something a bit clever there and lost the ball, unfortunately, because there was a chance on there. Here's Krasniqi, who's just putting the Newcastle men under pressure here. The fresh legs of Ronaldo, and he's going to win it, Ronaldo, and put his huge frame in the way, Ronaldo Krasniqi, as he just shields the ball and needs to find a pass now, and he does. He finds a good pass to Jones. Good play from Ronaldo there. Here's Pat Jones. He will come in on his right again, and he shoots, and it's just taken the sting out of the shot again there. A little foot. It just hit the studs of Harry Barkley, and again, Marshall forced into another save from a effort from Pat Jones. And Aldo just keeping the Newcastle players honest there, and it's a miscue rather from Marshall, and he's puts the ball high in the air towards Pat Jones. Pat just on the edge of the box. Here's Ronaldo Krasniqi. Krasniqi tries to bend one. Close there. It looked like it was going off target to start with, and then the keeper suddenly interested in that as it just bent inwards, but just going wide there. There's going to be a second change for Newcastle here now, because Joe White, the number 11, that's his evening done. Has had a few tackles that had him limping at times. Joe White has had a good game though, you have to say. Tom Midgley, the number 12, coming on to replace him here. Understandable injection of fresh legs at this stage of the game for both sides. Really good effort there from Krasniqi. I've not seen personally play this high up the pitch before, I must say. And Aldo actually came to town as a centre-back, ended up being a holding midfielder. He's 17 now, joined town from Crown Pro Elite Academy, one of the big private academies in London, in the summer of 2019, and that's a ball forward. It's a good ball forward, to be fair, towards the number 9, Harrison, who turns well again. Fires the ball out to Brannan, the centre-back. Popped in field, but Brodie Spencer alive to that again, and he's rung round the neck, Brodie Spencer there. I'm a bit surprised the referee hasn't given a free kick, but Brodie's kept the ball, and Baxter Olane's given a ball to Diarra, who's just tried to squeeze it back to Spencer, but Kamara does that for him. Here's Brahima Diarra's just slightly lost control of that ball there, and Brodie Spencer just shuts the door on that there, and then just slides the ball out with Harrison nearby. So decent play from Brodie. Diarra just couldn't quite bring the ball under his spell there, the French midfielder. We've seen his ability if he gets clear of his man as well. Here's Elliot Anderson, who we haven't seen for a while, but he's definitely a top quality player. And here's Harrison, the forward. That's a good ball actually into the right back slot, but Bilokovic has done really well, read that, and just clipped a sensible ball down the line that Krasniqi can try and win. And it's a good play there from Krasniqi. He's won the throw-in for his side down this town left. Did really well there, Ronaldo. Just got his body in the way, forced the Newcastle man to reach round him and stick a leg out, clear the ball. So here's Adewaju, steps forward now. Brodie Spencer's asking for it on the far right. It's a hell of a ball if it reaches him. I think it's going to be well played there from the number 12. That's probably the first touch there for Tom Midgley, who did really well just to nod the ball back to his goalkeeper. Big high looping ball, never easy to judge, but he wasn't under much pressure, so managed to get that back. Now the centre-half steps out now, and Connor Falls has followed him all the way in. Newcastle forced back as it's, I think that's Regan Thompson on the ball. Thompson pushes it forward as Krasniqi just asking Connor Falls what he should do on the ball here, asking him to, ooh, that's a slack one. They're going to get away with that because Diarra just too far away from it, and in the end it's a good ball forward as the man rides Kamara's chance well. Really good stuff from Brodie Spencer to stick his leg out, and now he sets Baxter Elaine away. Here's Darnell Baxter Elaine. He tries to cross first time towards Connor Falls, but it's good positioning from the centre-back at the near post, and now Krasniqi's going to win it back. Good play again from Brodie Spencer to put the pressure on. Here's Marodza. Marodza's got Krasniqi, but he goes further across to Kamara, who pushes the ball out to Spencer again, who's had a good start to this second half, to this extra time period. And Baxter Elaine's tried to curl one, and it's forced the goalkeeper just to watch it carefully over the bar. Darnell, a right-footed player. Normally his shin pad actually flew out as he hit that on his left. Always likes to have a shot if he can, Darnell. Has scored some really good hits for the Town Academy sides over the last 2 years, but that one wasn't to be. Marodza does really well again to win that ball, and Pat Jones has got Krasniqi for company. Here's Ronaldo. Ronaldo pushes the ball right to Diarra, who just sets on, goes to his left. Brahima Diarra. Krasniqi powers one over the bar. I think that may have, I don't know if it just miscued or it hit Diarra there. He might have volleyed Diarra up in the air as well, but it certainly had a weird flight to it as it went over the bar, but more positive play from Brahima there, who's still carrying a threat in these in the 14th minute of extra time here, as good ball into Regan Thompson as Shane Marodza just tried to take a chance there. Nice little back heel. Ball worked back to Barkley, the centre-back, into Oliver, the right-back. Marodza there just couldn't intercept. He was the wrong side of his man, and now it's Stevenson, the right winger, who just tries to play the ball into the box. He's got to be careful there, and he's going to get away with that. He's a little bit lucky for me there, Loic. He probably should have cleared that first time with Josh Harrison in close attention. In the end, he tried to take a touch and then felt the contact and went down. A safe decision from the ref. We're at practically the end of this first half of added time here. We might just have a minute or so to play because there has been a few substitutes, and as such, Bilakovic just fires that ball down the left wing as Krasnicki wins the seconds. And here's Pat Jones with a beautiful take onto his right side. Pat Jones finds it into Connor Falls. Falls hits it, and it's a good save at the near post from Marshall there. Nice idea from Connor. Took the shot early, hoping the goalkeeper wasn't quite set. But again, Marshall's made some good saves tonight, and he was equal to that one. Just pushes it round the post for a late corner to Towns. I'm just going to have a look again. There's going to be 2 minutes added at the end of this first 15 here in extra time. So plenty of time for something to happen yet as Connor Falls lines up the corner. He floats one in towards Kamara, and that's a solid header from Adewoju, but always going wide of the near post, unfortunately, from a Town perspective. So somewhat of a half chance there for the Terriers late in this first half of added time, but Adewoju, the centre-back, can't direct the ball on target. It did generate the power, to be fair, but now we're just looking at a sub here. It's a third sub, I believe, for Newcastle, and it's the number 7, Dylan Stevenson, who's been a really diligent worker down this right-hand side for Newcastle tonight. He's going off, and 15, Josh Gilchrist is coming on for Newcastle. Gilchrist, just trying to look at my notes here, is an 18-year-old midfielder. He's going out onto the wing, can play central midfield as well, has played up front at times as well for the Magpies junior teams. Brodie Spencer with a solid win there. Marodza does really well to nip in front of Gilchrist and win the ball back for his side. It's a good game tonight, Shane Marodza. Here's Pat Jones, squares his man up and goes on the outside. Pat forces Oliver into pushing the ball dead. It's been a really good battle, actually, that between Jones and Oliver on this side. Oliver really diligent, but you can see the little burst of acceleration that Pat Jones has. Even in this late stage of the game, he's still got that devastating acceleration. He's a really exciting prospect, Pat. Ball drifted in. It's going to be cleared at the near post, though. It's good defending from the Magpies as Baxter Lane picks the ball up. He just feints, and he needs to just be careful with how he plays this here as Diarra picks the ball up on the right-hand side, and Brahima just does well. Wins the ball back, actually, Brahima, and he's managed to keep it in play, but it's a sensible pass in field there to Regan Thompson, and yeah, that's a foul from Baxter Lane there just to stop that counter-attack as Thompson did really well, and Elliot Anderson just moving forward. Referee just asking him to push the ball backwards, trying to take it from the wrong position, according to him. I think that's the end of the 2 minutes now. We might have a little bit of added time extra because of Gilchrist's introduction. We shall see. Ball is clipped forward towards Marodza, who heads. I'm sure we'll have a very quick turnaround, so we might as well stay on comms for now. But it's still Huddersfield Town 1, Newcastle United 1 in the third round of this FA Youth Cup tie. Very even tie throughout. Could very much argue that Marshall has been the busier of the two goalkeepers, but Bilakovic, the Town stopper, certainly had to make a couple of really key saves to keep his side on level terms. Some really good play, some really good individual performances from both sides here, and it's cruel in a way that one of the teams has to lose. Such is cup football and such is football in general, however, and it's still all to play for in terms of who's going to be in that fourth round draw that's announced on Friday at 1 o'clock, I believe it is. It might be 1 or 2 off memory. Some really good stuff from both sides so far. Town still with a number of subs available to John Worthington. I believe we've got 2 left because Baxter Lane and Krasnicki have come on. Just run through the subs quickly for you. Michael Roxburgh, the substitute goalkeeper. Josh Okpolokpo is a centre-back. Michael Stone, Sonny Whittingham, both central midfielders by trade. And Andre Adionhon, a striker. So options all over the pitch for Town. I believe Newcastle have made 3 subs now, which means they have 1 left because you do get that 4th added when the game goes to extra time. Tom Midgley, Regan Thompson and Josh Gilchrist all on the pitch, which leaves Piotr Banda, the goalkeeper, Jamie Milley, James Huntley and Josh Stewart still on the bench for the Magpies. Nick Bilakovic just went down the tunnel there. Just keep an eye on him. I think he probably just needed a bathroom, to be fair, as both sides have a quick chat in the technical areas and then come back out for the final 15 minutes in open play here. Can either side find a winner? We're about to find out. Certainly feel like there's going to be chances at both ends. There have been throughout the 105 minutes that we've played so far. Again, thanks for joining us here on Huddersfield Town's YouTube channel. Thanks to our friends at Proper Digital again for helping us with this stream. Fantastic through pre-season. The same again tonight. Again, please subscribe, stick around. There's plenty of content through the weeks. My colleagues Sam and Tom do a great job on that front, and plenty to go through the week as well. So please click that subscribe button. I'm sure you won't regret it. Hopefully from a Town perspective. And I'm sorry, Newcastle fans that are listening, we are bringing another Youth Cup game, but this could go either way for sure. Here, two good teams on the pitch, really giving it their all here tonight, and there's some increasingly tired bodies. You can see the players stretching out now as we wait for this second half to get underway. We just wait for referee Waters to check everything, and he blows his whistle. Newcastle with the kick-off here as it goes to Barkley. Barkley to Oliver, the right back, who plays a good ball down the line, to be fair, and good athleticism from Kamaru. Did really well there to get ahead of Anderson. It's been a hell of a battle that all night as Etienne just shoves Anderson off the ball, and he's had a great game tonight. And idea from Krasniqi just to try and play Baxter Erlane in, but ball wasn't on, and Loic Aina just has to play it safe there and head it out for a throw-in. Oh, it's offside, in fact. That's fine. So Harrison, the Newcastle striker, just went a bit too early there. The ball was played too early for him. Here's Krasniqi. Brodie Spencer is available, and Loic Aina finds him well. Here's Brodie Spencer. He's got Krasniqi inside him. He's gone all the way into Connor Falls, his Northern Irish colleague, and Falls, nice solid turn and pushes the ball out to Pat Jones, the danger man. Pat Jones tries to find Falls again with a little first-time left-footed ball into the box, but it's well defended by 16-year-old Harry Barkley, the Newcastle centre-back, who's had a good game tonight. Not the tallest centre-back, but he's seems to have a really good idea of positioning on the pitch. But it's a corner to Town here early in this final 15 that Connor Falls clips towards the penalty. And that's a big jump from, I think it was Aina there, but it just glances off someone's head, and he's claimed well again by Oliver Marshall, the goalkeeper. Town always carry a threat. And Aldo Krasniqi I've seen score quite a few headers from set pieces, the second sub for Town. Now here we go as Newcastle drive it forward, and that's a good ball into the channel there. It's a good run again from Harrison, who's a really diligent worker for his side, and he comes inside. He's working himself into a shooting position, but great stuff from Marodza there, who's just need to be careful here, Town, with the ball, but Baxter Lane just lost out there, and I think that'll be Balocca Pictures. Good cover in there from, I think it was Shane Marodza, he's just making his way back across the pitch, the left back. Good movement from Harrison again, though, you have to say. He's a real live wire, the striker, and deserved his goal earlier. Good ball into Pat Jones there from Adewaju, and Pat's on his bike again. Such energy from Pat Jones, and now you have to say Oliver he was just ailing there, but Pat just gave him a chance. Fair play to Oliver, because he did look for the first time tonight like he was just struggling to try and keep up with Pat Jones, but he did really well to get back on level terms. Pat just gave him a little chance there. Good interception again, and that's good play, really good battle. There's some great battles all over the pitch, actually, you have to say, and he's going to get the free kick there. There's a little unlucky Shane Marodza, but little afters there from Josh Gilchrist and Marodza, but Gilchrist did well enough just to get his body in the way there. In fact, there's another substitution here, and I think that's going to be the end of the night for Elliot Anderson. It is the Newcastle skipper. And thank you to my colleague Adam. It's 17 James Huntley that's come on for Anderson. I missed the board go up there. He's an attacking player, 16-year-old James Huntley. He does generally play attacking midfield, and that looks like where he's popped into there. Quite tall, actually, for a 16-year-old. Quite a physical presence, Huntley. Just a slight delay in player as I think it was David Adewaju, the centre-back for Town, just needed his legs stretching out there a bit, and Huntley's done well there. He's cleared the space for Midgley to receive the ball, and exchanges 1-2s, and that's great play there from number 3, actually, the left back, who's now higher up the pitch, Scott, and then getting a bit congested in the middle of the pitch here. Harrison with nice feet again, but good tackle from Loic Aina. Town just need to be careful here because there's plenty of bodies forward. Nice clipped ball into the 15. It's a good turn from the 15, and it's a good low shot. He did really well there, actually, Gilchrist, to work the space for the shot, but thankfully for Town, it was just a bit close to Balocca Pitch, who made the save, and it's a good early throw out now to the tireless Marodza, who gives it to Pat Jones, who comes in field. He's got Krasniqi for company, but he's going to try and drift across field pass towards Brima Diarra now with good strength, and Brima there. Yeah, the referee's going to give the free kick. It just looked like he was lining up to shoot, and went down under a challenge there, and to be fair, It's the number 14, Regan Thompson, I think, that gave it away, and he is just having a little complaint, but not a wholehearted one, and he might actually be getting a yellow card here. It does look like a genuine foul. Yeah, Regan Thompson booked, and it's a free kick to Town. It couldn't be closer to the penalty area here. It's one of them that you hear commentators say, was it too close? Because it's hard to get up and down, but this is some opportunity here for the young Terriers, to be fair. It's right on the edge of the box, pretty central to the goal, just slightly to Town's left-hand side. Just looking at who's lining this one up, and it looks like might be Adewoju, the centre-back, that fancies this. Diarra and Adewoju over it here. David, like I said, did play as a winger at his old club, QPR, so maybe fancies this one here. I'm sure he took plenty of free kicks, but it's Diarra and Adewoju over it, I think. Oh, and they've tried something clever, Town, and unfortunately, little decoy there it was meant to be, and I think they were trying to clear the space for Pat Jones, but didn't quite work in the end. Pat just started a little bit too far back, had to kind of rush onto the ball in the end, and screwed his shot wide under pressure. Novel idea from Town to try and reposition it when it's that close to goal, but didn't come off in the end, unfortunately. So Newcastle with a goal kick, and it's just floated over Marodza's head, but Adewoju just needs to be careful here, and he plays a sensible ball into Etienne Kamara, who just turns past his man and gives a lovely ball into Marodza. Done well again there, Etienne. Here's Pat Jones. Pat's going to try and run Oliver. Sensible stuff from Carl Yon there, the central midfielder, to get across and help his full-back, as some test against Pat. Here's Brahima Diarra. Just slight miscontrol there for a second. Just needs to be careful here, because there's not a load of cover behind him, and Carl Yon does well, actually. He's a good, strong player, Carl Yon, the holding midfielder, and he did well. Oh, Brahima just almost nicks the ball off Barkley, but he does enough just to push it back to Marshall. Both centre-backs have gone for that, and Loic needs to know that there's someone on him now, and he does. Good, sensible centre-back play. Oh, no, Nick Bilokovic almost played the ball straight to Harrison there, but thankfully Marodza doing well again. I think he's played it off the man. Did really well there, Shane, again. Had a great game tonight, Shane Marodza, I think. Pat Jones just pinning the right back there, as good wingers do, and he wins the throw-in high up the pitch there, Jones. Great battle, that, Jones versus Oliver. I've really enjoyed that tonight. Krasniqi just moving down the line there, looking for an early throw-in, but a few limping bodies there. Etienne Kamara, the Town midfielder, just looking a little bit worse for wear a second there, as Krasniqi fires the ball out to Aina. It just bobbles over his foot. Baxter Elaine's just asking for the ball. He needs to be careful here, because he's under pressure, back Darnell, but and good sensible stuff from Loic there, and Scott, the midfielder's just charging up the pitch to try and keep Bilokovic honest, and Brody's just got the ball around the corner wrong there, Brody Spencer. Otherwise he would have set Baxter Elaine into space, and now Newcastle with the chance to attack, although Marodza again does well positionally. I don't know what Shane's doing here, but he's managed to somehow get past his man, and then, yeah, that's a foul. I'm going to say that Gilchrist tries to drive away there, but you could see Shane getting dragged back. He didn't have a load of options when he got on the ball there, Shane, and tried to get creative. Pat Jones looking for the early ball, but well blocked by Gilchrist, so it goes out to the right-hand side to Aina, and Aina pops it into Diarra, who in turn fires a first-time pass back to Ronaldo Krasniqi, who sensible, but Brody Spencer with a little tired stretch there, unfortunately, on that pass from Krasniqi, and Ronaldo's going to have to watch this right side. Good play there from now Marodza's definitely going to get booked if he hasn't been already for that. Gilchrist not overly happy with the foul from Marodza. Just afters here, little handbags. Don't know why this needs to happen, but Krasniqi and Aldo taking the role of team enforcer there, and Aldo Krasniqi just telling Gilchrist not to, let's not have any funny business at this point, but referee's probably going to have to speak to about 8 players there, because they all got involved. Good excuse to have a little rest, I suppose, but Gilchrist and Marodza are the two who really started that, and they're the ones getting called over here. Hopefully the ref just has a word with them here. I don't think there's anything more needed than that, surely, but we will see. Assistant referee came in just to help break things up there as well. Both assistants just having a close look at it. Ref might be booking both here, actually. I don't know. It's looks like he's going to. I'm not really sure it's necessary, but just my opinion. Yep, it's a yellow card for Marodza and a yellow card for Gilchrist. So status quo is a free kick to Newcastle after all that, to be fair. It was a foul from Marodza originally. About midway inside the Town half, pretty central. Newcastle not committing everyone forward to this here. They've still got 4 outfield players behind the ball here as Thompson looks to curl one in towards Krasniqi at the back post, and Aldo not the one that you really want to aim free kicks for. He's about 6'5", but good from a Town perspective, and Aldo did his job. And here's Pat Jones now, keeps the ball in on that far side, gives it to Marodza, and the left back not often has the ball with his back to goal, so he oh no, that's a terrible pass from Adewaju. Does well there, gets around him because Aina just caught on his back foot there. David just stretching out again, and to be fair to David, did really well because it was his pass originally that gave Newcastle the opportunity. He saw the danger, covered round, and managed to snuff out the danger. Now then, here's Brodie Spencer. Just need to be careful here, Town, as Baxter Lane doesn't want to give away a foul there, and Thompson does really well just to keep the ball off him. That's nice play there from Newcastle. Oh, now Town seemed to stop for a second. The ref plays on, and now it's a crossing opportunity from the left, and it's fired all the way across, and Pat Jones going to pick this up. Pat needs to go on his outside here, just be sensible, because you don't want to lose this ball. In fact, what do I know, because Pat Jones is that quick that he just drives straight through the middle of the Newcastle defence. Unfortunately then overruns it and gives away a free kick just inside his own half. Another free kick to Newcastle. We've had a fair few this evening. We've got about 4.5 minutes left before we head to penalties here. Looks like there is a player getting ready on the Town bench, which I think would be our third substitution. It might be Andre Edion on here. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to see a second who it is. But in the meantime, Newcastle with the free kick taken early, and it's good play from Harrison. The goal scorer is in a position there. Great stuff from, I think it was Aina, to be fair. And Etienne Kamara plays the ball up towards Connor Falls. Connor can only really shepherd the ball out, unfortunately, and then Kamara's referee's playing on, even though Etienne Kamara's on the floor. I'm just trying to see who that is. We'll have to wait to see until the numbers go up. I can't quite make it out at this point. The size of the player, I'm going to guess. Yep, it is. So that's the end of the evening for Loic Aina, who is limping, to be fair, the Town skipper. And it's Josh Okpolokpo, another centre-back coming on here. It's an Irish centre-half, Josh. He's moved to England from Cherry Orchard. Went to Ipswich Town originally, played in their academy for a couple of years. Joined Town in the summer of 2019, Josh. So about 3 minutes of regular time to play, plus anything that's added on. A regular centre-back, Josh. So like-for-like substitution again. Yes, it is Adewaju who's come on, actually. He's been stretching for a while, so the fourth official, I think, put the wrong number up there, but it is Adewaju who's gone off. And to be fair, David has been stretching for some time, and that's really good play from the lively Scott, who's got into a really dangerous position and an absolute lunging chance. This is a big chance, and it's hit the post. Big chance for Josh Gilchrist there, the number 15. Great play from Scott, and fair play to him for not going down. Here's Brahima Diarra, just couldn't keep the ball in, unfortunately, Brahima, but that was a big chance for the Magpies, and thankfully for Town, Gilchrist's shot just cannoned off the far post with Belokovic beaten. Newcastle looking the more dangerous here as we come to the end of the game, you have to say, as Regan Thompson fires the ball in, and Aldo Krasniqi, laboured kind of clearance from Brahima Diarra, and Baxter Lane can't keep the ball in. Baxter Lane and Brahima Diarra's Josh Okpolokpo just needs to be careful here. He's got he could do with a run down the line, to be fair, but he's done well to clip that into Connor Falls, and he's tried to play that first time Etienne Kamara into the path of Darnell Baxter Lane, but the volley was just too far inside. There's a big problem here because Brahima Diarra is playing everyone on side down this side here because he's just suffering with cramp. Marodza now, and that's Aina clubs it forward, and that's a big header from Barkley. Marodza stretches and wins the ball. It's probably going to run out, but Shane's going to try and keep it in, and I think he did, to be fair to Shane Marodza. No, he didn't. Shows where I know it's gone out for a throw-in. There's all sorts of players stretching all over the pitch now. Brahima Diarra is basically running on one leg. And now this is a dangerous position now because he's got free of Krasniqi, and he's going to hit that, and it's a good block there from Brodie Spencer. Darnell Baxter Lane needs to just be careful here. Darnell just plays it into Josh Okpolokpo, who's probably going to clear this down the line, and that's not a good ball from Okpolokpo. It's gone straight to Thompson, and good front foot defending there from Aina again, but Newcastle really in the ascendancy here in this last few minutes as the ball is played out to Thompson, who just breaks into the right edge of the Town box. Can Town hang on here to get to penalties? It's a good ball, and Pat Jones, Oh no, that's hit the post again. I don't know how that hasn't gone in, because it was right in the 6-yard box, but somehow, and now Krasnicki's got it, and Ronaldo just needs to settle things down here. He needs to be careful. He's gone straight into trouble there, and Baxter Lane needs to work for his side here. Good ball from the number 12 again, and it's gone straight into the danger zone, and Marodza needs to block this from Harrison. Good save from Belokovic, who would be sensible just to hang on to the ball here. What do I know? He's throwing it to Pat Jones. Let's go for it, lads. We've got about 30 seconds left as Pat Jones now up the left wing. Pat, come in field. He's got no real support because everyone's labouring, and Shane Marodza's just slowing things right down here as Jones turns now. He's looking for a little movement from Marodza, but he's getting nothing. Shane's just stood next to him, and well, it's a Town free kick. I'm absolutely no idea what for, but I'll take it all day long. I cannot believe Newcastle haven't scored at the end there. We've got 2 minutes to be added on at the end of this final 15. They've had 2 gilt-edged chances with Gilchrist and another player who I couldn't see in the crowd of players, that it's hit the post from inside the 6-yard box. I mean, it's skinny your teeth stuff from Town, but they have the ball and it's still 1-1. And here's Ronaldo Krasnicki, who tries to clip the ball into Brodie Spencer, and what a fantastic pass that is. Could this be a last chance for Town as Baxter Lane just overruns the ball there, and now Town need to be careful here because Okpolokpo has been turned, and that's a great ball. And now Ken Marodza bravely sticks his head in the way there, Shane Marodza, and gets a free kick. Really good defending from the covering left back. We've got 1 minute 15 seconds left before we go to penalties here, and I'm not sure there's enough players from both sides that can kick the ball 12 yards after this effort, but we will see in all likelihood as Belokovic hammers the ball forward towards the right back, and Jones tries to gamble to get the seconds, but it hasn't worked. And now Newcastle in possession again as Thompson, who's been decent, Thompson, when he's come on this second half, finds the ball into the very lively Josh Scott, the left back, who's just, he's run into the box. And I tell you what, Ronaldo Krasnicki's done fantastically there, because he's run Scott wide onto his weaker right foot and done everything he could to make it difficult for Scott to get the shot away, who's now got cramp in his after that big swing. And it's going to be a corner to Newcastle with 30 seconds remaining here, so this could be an absolute heartbreaker for Town if this goes in, but we shall see as Gilchrist retrieves the ball and takes it over to that far side. Town want to get the first contact on this desperately. Krasnicki surveying the near post here. Town just making sure they're picking everyone up. Pat Jones still forward for the Young Terriers, but let's see if they can defend this Gilchrist ball into the box. Belokovic is just pushing the player away from him in the middle of the box. That's quite a deep ball towards Barkley. Barkley heads it. Belokovic claims high above his head. Getting blocked off by the 17 there. He does, well, that's a slightly odd kick, but it's gone straight down the middle of the pitch, and the number 12, Tom Misley, hoists it into the air. And that's it. That's the end of 120 minutes where these two sides couldn't be separated. Huddersfield Town won, Newcastle United won, limping players on the floor everywhere, but they're going to be needed for one final effort because we're going to penalties here in the FA Youth Cup. What a game this has been. Fantastic entertainment for a Tuesday evening. Just come past 9 o'clock here at the John Smith Stadium. Thanks for watching all the way throughout this 120 minutes of football. Hopefully, well, there's going to be a winner, that's for sure. Has to be a winner. Obviously, we hope from a Town perspective it's us. Both sides put in a sterling effort tonight, you have to say. A real test of skill, of fitness, competitive nature, and both sides have actually passed it, you have to say. Just seen Charles Ondo, one of the injured players, head down the tunnel. It's all too much for Charles. Just a mention while we're waiting for these teams to turn around of the Young Terriers players that were unavailable tonight. I mentioned Luke Daly earlier, who's just nursing a small knee problem, the left back. Charles Ondo, also a left back with an ankle problem. It's going to keep him out for some time. That's why he's on crutches. Evander Grubb, the winger, cup-tied. Luke Billam with a knee issue. Ben Midgley, the captain of the FA Youth Cup team last season, sadly injured his knee quite badly in pre-season, so he's on a long road to recovery. Robson Shipley, the energetic forward, has broken his leg, sadly. Gully Zunder, the Swedish winger, out with a hamstring injury as well. So these things happen. We wish all those guys the best in the recovery. Now it's about the 11 players on the pitch, and you can see John Worthington there has just sat his players down next to the perimeter board on that far side, and the technical staff, the coaching staff are having a word with him. I'm sure John's proud of the efforts of his team tonight. They've given him everything, you have to say. And there's been some real quality moments in and amongst some competitive stuff, some errant shots, everything he expects from under-18 football, but credit to every single player tonight who represented this club with pride. Let's hope they can finish the job now and that Nick Bilokovic, the town keeper, can keep a couple of these out. Be interesting now as to who can see this through. Some dramatic nights at the John Smith Stadium over the years. There might not be the crowd in. This is going to be a dramatic end to what's been a really pulsating end-to-end FA Youth Cup tie. Thanks again to you all for joining us here on HGTV tonight, Huddersfield Town's YouTube channel. Really appreciate your support as ever. Hopefully you've enjoyed the coverage. Like I said, we will try and bring you more of these games when it's right to do so. Big round of applause from the far side there from both squads. Waiting to see what the officials are going to do here. It doesn't really matter which end we take it out, to be fair, does it? There's no fans at either side, so it's no real advantage either way. They're just waiting for both squads to come in now. Be very interesting to see who Town's penalty takers are. Ronaldo, Krasnicki, I've seen take them before. Just trying to work through the Town lineup, see who I think I can see taking penalties. I'm pretty sure Loic Aina's taken a penalty in his 2 years here as well. I suspect Pat Jones will take one as well, the Town goal scorer tonight. Both keepers just having a chat with each other there. Both had good games tonight, to be fair, made important saves. Couldn't really do much about either goal, to be fair. Yep, and the referee's just signalled we're going to be taking the penalties at the south stand end here, so heading towards the absorb stand there, both goalkeepers. Very friendly chat as well, has to be said. Oliver Marshall, the Newcastle keeper, done really well tonight. Made some really important saves for his side. I'm sure he'll be hoping to do more in this penalty shootout. Both sides lining up on halfway now. And it's going to be Newcastle to take the first penalty. And it's the number 4, Nathan Carleon, that's heading over. Just off camera here with the assistant referee and referee. Bilokovic and Marshall just putting their items down behind the goal as Marshall now moves away, and it's going to be Carleon versus Bilokovic to get things going here. So it's going to be obviously 5 penalties taken. So it'll be best of 5 to start with, then on to sudden death if needed. Here we go. The first penalty for Newcastle, Nathan Carleon. He's had a good game tonight, to be fair, in holding midfield. He's been a strong presence for the Magpies against the Aussie Bilokovic. Yeah, it's a good penalty to start with from Carleon. Sends Bilokovic the wrong way to put Newcastle ahead 1-0. And just looking now as he makes his way back to halfway, it's Etienne Camara, the Frenchman who's had a fantastic game for Town tonight, you have to say. Carleon just makes his way back to halfway. Not even really many congratulations from his team. Just goes and walks to the end of his of the Newcastle lineup. Both sets of players arm in arm here on halfway as they watch things unfold at the other side of the pitch as Camara, Marshall with his arms outstretched. Town's first penalty from Etienne Camara here. Camara against Marshall. Oh, brilliant penalty from Camara. Marshall actually went the right way, but solidly struck into the top corner. Keeper went the right way, but couldn't get near it. Really good stuff, and caps off a really impressive display from Etienne Camara tonight, the 17-year-old. And he passes the next taker, who's going to come into your shot shortly. That's the number 12, Tom Midgley, who's going to be taking this for Newcastle. Newcastle's second penalty. We are at 1-1 here. Here we go, Midgley, the left footer against Bilokovic. Oh, it's a great penalty, to be fair, from Midgley, who absolutely hammers the ball into the the roof of the net from Bilokovic, who had no real chance to get to that. So 2-1 to Newcastle here, after 2 penalties for Newcastle, 1 for Town, and it's Brahima Diarra making his way towards the long walk towards the penalty spot, the long, lonely walk. Brahima's had some real stellar moments in tonight's game. A couple of amazing passes in the second half to set colleagues through on goal. He went close to scoring himself. Can he echo his French compatriot Camara by keeping Town level in this shootout? Diarra sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's 2-2. Good stuff from Brahima Diarra. Confident stuff from the penalty spot there. So both teams scoring both the first 2 penalties here as Diarra makes his way back into the centre circle. The next taker is going to be the number 15, Josh Gilchrist for Newcastle. Gilchrist, one of the fresh leg substitutes, midfielder. Did play wide, played centrally after coming on, 18 years old. So it's Gilchrist with Newcastle's third penalty, facing up against Bilokovic. Neither keeper getting near to a penalty yet, although you can't really blame either custodian. There have been two good penalties apiece from both sides here, as Gilchrist just taking a little time to position the ball on the spot here under the watchful eye of the referee as Bilokovic waves his arms. Here we go. And it's a penalty again, sends the keeper the wrong way, places the ball home. They're all good penalties if they go in. Bilokovic just stretches his legs out. Went right, the ball went left, and it's 3-2 Newcastle. And it is the final of the French triumvirate, Loic Aina, to take this third penalty for Huddersfield Town. The centre-back, the skipper. I said I thought I'd seen him take one in the game. I'm pretty sure I have. And here's his chance to take one in this FA Youth Cup shootout here, Loic. Trying to restore parity after 3 penalties apiece as Marshall claps his gloves together. The town skipper Aina places the ball and steps back. Aina sends the ball straight down the middle of the goal. The goalkeeper moves, so it's 3-3. Everyone on the gantry very nervous here, whether you're of a Town or a Newcastle persuasion, and it's a run forward here from Lewis Brannan, another centre-back, to take the 4th penalty for Newcastle United. Brannan's had a good game tonight, actually. I think he's defended really well. The right footer just wasted no time in getting to this penalty. So here we go, the Newcastle 4th. And it's straight down the middle of the goal again. Bilokovic goes right, and it's 4-3 to Newcastle. Every penalty scored so far. Fair play to Brannan. He's jogging back as quickly as he jogged forward, and it's crossing paths with Town's 4th penalty taker, which is striker Connor Falls. Quiet as a mouse in this stadium. You can't hear a thing from either side as Connor Falls places the ball, just bounces it on the spot. Connor to try and level things up at 4-4 here. Oh, it's saved by the goalkeeper and the Newcastle bench. And players make a big noise here, and it's going to be Newcastle's chance to win it here. Falls. Penalty saved by Marshall low to the right, and now it's going to be another substitute, Regan Thompson, the young Scotsman who's got the chance to put Newcastle through to the next round of the FA Youth Cup here. It'd be so cruel on Town if this ends this way. Thompson taking his time, looking to the sky here. Takes the ball and puts it on the penalty spot. Town needs something from Bilokovic here. Can he make a massive save for the Terriers? And it's in, and that's it. Newcastle through. Such a sad moment for the young Terriers here, as the save from Marshall in the end from Connor Falls puts Newcastle through to the 4th round. Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of here for Town on halfway. The players are absolutely gutted. You can see everyone's gutted. Newcastle delighted, obviously, and well done to them tonight, the Magpies. They're through to the 4th round. Really, really good game here tonight. Understand their celebrations. Well done to them, and good luck in the 4th round. Town's players absolutely gutted as they make their way off the pitch or the in the centre circle here, but nothing to be ashamed of tonight. Town put in a really good performance against the Premier League side. They've been lifted to the feet by the coaches, and all power to Town. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's such a cruel way to end what's been a pulsating tie. There's got to be a winner, got to be a loser. Sadly, it's Town on the wrong end of the shootout tonight, but hopefully you saw lots to be excited about for the future here from the young Terriers. Thanks for joining us again on HTTV on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow night for the coverage of the first team game at Coventry City.